Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you sort through mountains of new music. We go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Hey everybody, welcome back to today's episode of
Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz.
I am Jeff Wilson.
I am Ronald Norton.
If you're not watching the video, just go watch the video. Maybe we shouldn't say anything else.
Go watch the video.
JD's not here.
But if you've never watched any of our videos, it wouldn't be
It
weird.
won't- I'm sure they've seen thumbnails or whatever. But
Maybe.
JD couldn't be here today, so
I'm filling in.
my co-host today is Ronald Norton, who is JD's twin brother,
Twin brother.
conjoined twin,
Yeah.
separated at birth. Where were you guys connected? Like the butt cheeks,
Pinky toe. Yeah.
You
Just
were
the pinky toe.
ass to ass.
But if they had separated us, we might have died.
That would probably be
There's
the
a major artery running through your pinky.
Yeah, I was gonna say the best place to be connected would be your butt cheeks,
Probably.
damage free.
God, they take that meat for everything.
Yeah, hot knife.
Jeez.
Come on,
Use that to fill in spots, cover burns.
This went weird quick.
This guy this really did, didn't it?
Yeah, if you're not watching, Mr. Norton here, at the request of his daughter
For her birthday.
shaved his mustache and beard for the first time in
18 years.
18 years.
My kids have never seen me without a beard.
Only
Until last night.
old photos.
Yes, old photos.
No, they made me come over here just so I could see, so I could see it.
Well, I didn't. Your daughter
No,
did.
my daughter did. Oh, it was fantastic.
They were freaked out. Yes.
All right. So hey, I hope everybody enjoyed the last few episodes. We the JD and Jeff solo cast that we put out last week, and then before that we had Spotlights, and then Mark from Zeke, and
Mark from Zeke.
just
Oh
some-
man, how do we get these guests?
some
We're
bang
lucky.
some bang bangers. So
lucky.
Hey, subscribe, share this with your friends.
Please do.
We need music, bands. Always submit. Always have your friends submit. You never know what we've heard or who we've heard of. So
Yep.
just
exactly.
send email to blindsub@gmail.com. Bandcamp preferred.
Yes.
And so who are our guests today? This was JD booking.
So our guests, it's Sam Riggins. So Sam Riggins is founder, brewer, head guy at Cosmic Eye Brewing in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
But his wife is also on. We just didn't know she was going to be on, and I don't remember what her name is.
Oh, and
So
neither
shitty me.
neither of us were smart enough to ask.
Well, yeah.
It's okay. We'll put her on the spot. It'll be fine.
Wait,
Oh, is he looking? Do we have
Michelle.
Sam
and Michelle Riggins,
co-owners of Cosmic Eye Brewing in
Lincoln, Nebraska.
So why do we have a brewer on? A brewery?
Why do we?
I don't know.
Well, I one, because they actually listen to the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Listeners.
There you go.
And also because, I mean, honestly, I think brewing has a lot to do with the heavy underground and just the music scene in general. Look at all the tours. Look at all like the festivals. Who are some of the main sponsors? They're the big breweries, but there's also a lot of craft breweries that sponsor and bring these things. A lot of bands play at breweries. And as you have mentioned in previous podcasts in the past, or previous episodes, you go into any brewery and you walk back into the brew room, 90% of the time they're going to be blasting metal.
Yeah, a lot of the time. A lot of, Three Floyds Brewing does Dark Lord Days Festival. The Decibel Metal and Beer Festival is a coast-to-coast event now. Decibel Magazine puts on East Coast, West Coast, anywhere where there's enough brewers. We have certainly even throwing smaller festivals leaned on beer sponsors.
Bowling and Beers in Hell.
Yeah, Bowling and Beers in Hell. 3 years of Beers in Hell.
3 years.
In fact, the first year we had a beer brewed just for the event.
Just for the event.
Which was fucking awesome.
That's amazing.
Santa Clara Valley Brewing, rest in peace. Not around anymore, but that happens in the brewery business.
It does,
all right.
unfortunately.
So, and also they're huge music fans, and then they also do some band collaboration beers, right?
Which is something that you've been seeing a lot more lately, I think, especially with heavy bands. I think Belching Beaver kind of, I don't know if they started that with like
there was
their Deftones beers.
No, there was a German brewery that was doing like they did a Mastodon beer
really?
and a Iron. There's
Oh,
Iron,
yeah.
an Iron Trooper, Iron Maiden.
But I don't
beer.
think those were those real beers?
The Mastodon one was not my favorite kind of beer, but it wasn't like an American microbrew. No,
Yeah,
it was
that's true. That's true.
More mass produced.
We should talk to Sam and
All right,
Michelle
let's
about
do
that.
it. Let's bring them
Let's
on.
do it.
All right, we don't have any music to play to lead them in because, as far as I know,
They're not in any bands.
but maybe
There we go.
we'll ask. Hey, how's it
Hello.
going? Welcome. We were just yammering on about you and the fine relationship between beer and heavy music.
Right.
So maybe we'll get you guys to wax poetically a little bit about sort of why it is they go together so well. Why do we have a Decibel Metal and Beer Fest and Dark Lord Days and little breweries sponsoring our little events here in the Bay Area? It seems to be everywhere you go, beer and heavy metal go hand in hand.
Yeah. So I will say that first and foremost, it's all underground culture, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I will even go back and take a step back and say that all of us that are doing this right now owe a huge gratitude towards guys like Barnaby Struve, who died last year but was with Three Floyds Brewing. Barnaby basically created Dark Lord Day. The first beer metal collabs that I knew about were from Three Floyds. And it was guys like Barnaby and the Three Floyds guys that were really at the forefront of that. And then on the music side, Dave Whitty from Municipal Waste. Dave's just been a huge beer fan forever. And he was always stoked on beers, taking beers to shows, making everybody in band. He kind of started with the drummers, and like split them to the drummers first. But like, him just being so passionate about it and everywhere he went, just lighting people up on craft beer. That was really kind of the genesis of it.
Yeah.
But kind of the flip side of that, though, is that just it all being underground culture.
Yeah.
Like all of us started this shit in garages or basements.
It's all DIY.
All of us started this with no money and, shitty business sense. And,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, we'll do that for that split. Cool.
Probably your spouse or your mom or whoever you were paying rent to was like, why are you wasting your time on that?
Yeah.
So the other part of it is having a partner that has a good job and benefits and etc.
That's awesome.
All that stuff is also important in brewing and music.
Yeah.
If you like to do things like have physicals or go to the dentist or,
no one likes those things, though, really.
Those random head injuries and going to the ER, it's important to have a significant other that can help you out. But, really so much of it is it's all built around shit that you love and not shit you're supposed to do. Beer, I think you can argue that both beer and heavy music are in a different space than they were 20, 30 years ago. But for the most part, you're not doing this to please other people. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And you're doing it to some extent, like expand your knowledge on what things are, you get to a point when I grew up doing music and playing music, and you get to a point where you're tired of being in cover bands. You're tired of doing that shit, right? You can only play Cherry Pie so many times.
Hey. I opened for Warrant once.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Just once? Shit.
Just once. Got kicked the fuck out of backstage before they even came out of their van, man. They were they and their entire crew were a bunch of assholes. But
man.
I don't want to burn any Warrant bridges though.
JD's pissed.
Yeah.
But there's just like this huge part of it for me that it's just like I don't give a shit what other people think about it. Well, that's a little different now that we need to make money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little different now.
Here's your fucking beer. I hope you hate it.
Yeah.
Hi, please buy our beer.
Please buy the beer. But yeah, there's just this huge part of it where it comes from the underground. It comes from yourself. It comes from what you're interested in and not really what the fads are. And I think that's really like a lot of the lockup there. The other thing that I will tell you is that there are so many people like me in brewing where it's like there's so many of us that are just like failed musicians, right? Like you know, and like our choices were either like go work in the kitchen or like start brewing.
Yeah. I like your choice. I mean, my mom bought me my first brewing kit on my 18th birthday, and I brewed on and off for 25 years. I decided very quickly that I don't like sanitizing things.
Yeah.
And so I would
Part of
never
that.
ever be a commercial brewer because I don't like washing stainless steel shit.
Yeah. Right.
Because if you don't know brewing, like that's 90% of the job.
It's just
It's
clean.
so much of it. Yeah. Is that clean? No.
So
Yeah. So we're
Are
gonna
you
wait.
sure?
hopefully,
Clean it again.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that-
like brewing is like 90% cleaning and sanitizing and 10% waiting on a truck to show up.
Yeah.
And then like all the rest of it is just easy.
yeah,
Just all natural.
a couple minutes of fun while you're actually brewing. That's when you take the pictures for Instagram though.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I challenge you to take pictures of the downtimes. Take a picture of waiting for the truck.
That's a
and
great
send-
idea, honestly. Good content, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's like-
seriously.
Somebody on
Yeah.
their phone on the brew house deck.
Yeah.
What's funny today was one of our brew house manufacturer came through today and was doing they were just doing these like little fake spot like videos of me doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And what was
course.
fun, and like you do these all the time, like, you know, the local paper comes in or, you know, the local TV station's trying to run a special for something. And so they'll always come in and they're like, well, act like you're doing shit, right? And so, you know, you go over to a tank and, you know, you pretend like you're turning valves and you get a
Twisting them
glass
down.
and you fill it up and you do the little, you know, look at it bullshit. And what was funny was today we were up like doing something we were doing like a control panel shot or whatever. And I actually had our brewer was getting ready to clean a tank. And he was like, hey man, can you turn that pump on for me? And I was like, holy shit, this is the first time I've ever been being filmed and actually am like doing a thing. And like all I did was that.
Yeah.
But it felt so good to be being filmed and not just being a poser.
Making it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Actually brewing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In my normal paid work life, I've had to shoot B-roll in like office
awkward.
environments. It's
Yeah.
the fucking worst.
God damn.
Like,
Just walk by that window, and you're like, okay, how hard could it be to walk? Walking's easy. I'm
Do
pretty
it
good at
again.
I'm pretty good at walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you walk, and they show you the playback, and you like, I look like a weird alien robot. This is not how a human walks.
It's because you never think about walking.
Oh no,
you
you're
just
thinking,
walk.
I'm walking. I hope I look
Yeah.
good. Do I
Hope
look
I
look
look
that
right.
again.
What
Let's
do
do
my
that one
arms look
again.
like right now? Where should I put my hands?
Oh,
Yeah,
That's-
just start picking your nose. Whatever.
So what should we be drinking right now?
Yeah. Well, you sent us so this is the first time we were
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
something. We've saved it. We're good. No, we drank one when we recorded the last episode.
Drink two.
We drank two. Oh,
But there's left. There's more left.
they were
Alright,
both
you have
delicious.
two left at least.
I don't
Oh,
even
we have
remember what
we
I
have
sent you
6.
guys.
We got all 6.
Yeah.
What do you have?
So you sent us the Vox and Hops,
Oh yeah.
the Dead Man's Ruin,
Oh man.
or Dead Man's Run.
Yeah.
The Everything Has Eyes. Sir Lime's a lot. That Everything
man.
Has Eyes, by the way, is fucking great.
Yeah, we
Oh,
had this.
thank you so much.
That was really
so
good.
good.
And I mean, I don't know what the scene is like where you guys are, but we may not be in like Mecca for beer, but we're pretty damn close to it. And
I mean, all of California is pretty good, man.
yeah, and you know, the Bay Area was sort of the birthplace. Like I worked at a homebrew supply shop when I was 18.
Sure.
And the guy who worked there was good friends with the Sierra Nevada crew. So I'd roll
Yeah.
into work and he'd have like test kegs. He's like, "Oh, they sent me here's some
Test kegs?
here's some shit they're trying out." So I got to test all of this crazy, you know, I'm talking 1993, 1992.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
that's when I got into beer. So
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really jealous of you being that close to that then.
it was pretty rad.
Yeah.
I won't lie at all. It
That's
was
crazy.
It was great.
That was
But
like,
yeah.
there was, yeah. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Which one?
No. I think that Vox and Hops is probably a good jump off since, you
Yeah,
know, we're talking
okay.
about music and this is kind of a music collab across the board. So
Yeah, and it's super cool because so Vox and Hops is another podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like a metal and beer podcast.
yeah. So Matt McGackey, he's the vocalist for Cryptopsy in Montreal. They've death metal band. They've been around forever. And kind of the joke on the name of this, we call it "I don't really listen to podcasts." So,
which is perfect,
right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I really don't have time to listen to a lot of podcasts. Like getting interrupted all the time, like it's hard to start and stop them. And the two podcast, I mean, I listen to you guys though now too.
Oh, good. All right.
Oh, nice.
Take it.
That's awesome. We'll take it.
But no, I do.
Wink.
I've listened to a handful of your episodes, but really the only two podcasts I've ever really listened to on a regular basis are Vox and Hops. And then we did this also in collaboration with Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. My buddy Eddie's out of LA. And so when they were like, hey, we're going to do this collab with all these podcast things, I was like, well, shit, I don't really listen to podcasts. They were like, oh my God, it's perfect.
That's awesome.
I'll make you beer.
Yeah, right.
That was good.
So it was basically 22 breweries across Canada and the US. And then it was 21 bands paired up with them. And then we got paired up with Rock and Roll Beer Guy. Lots of cool shit. Everybody did a different beer. Everybody did their own take on things. The guys at Wake Brewing in the Quad Cities are good buddies of ours. They did one with Atlas Moth.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And
Dry
then
City did one.
Dry City, who are friends of ours too in Chicago suburbs. They did one with Yakuza.
Yeah.
I can't remember. My buddy Steve is Ghost Town Brewing cellar manager.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who they did.
Ghost
there
Town
for.
did. I'm trying to remember.
Ghost
who
Town
they
did one, and I can't remember.
Yeah,
But they do. Man, they've done a bunch of collab stuff.
Yeah, our buddy Derek. Actually, we need to have Derek on for a live episode. He's one of the sales guys for
God.
Ghost Town. He's been through the gauntlet of breweries. He was at Oscar Blues for a while, and I forget where he was before that. Just his nickname is the Buzz God, and he's just like a fucking a party and a human being. He's like an ex-BMX racer who's
BMX racer,
probably
hardcore kid.
injured his head way too many times, and it like shows in everything he does. Like,
But he's just the best dude.
he'll be great. We'll have to get Derek on
for sure.
But yeah, he's at Ghost Town now, and so it's cool to be connected. I mean, they're making such great beer right now.
I haven't had any of those. I talk to my buddy Steve all the time about doing beer trades, and we just never get around to doing
Well, it
it.
looks like it's our turn to send some
guess
back.
who owes you a box?
Oh,
So,
yeah. Sweet.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So I mean, from here it would be like Cellar Maker, Fieldwork, Sante Darius,
Alvarado
Alvarado Street.
I know all those breweries.
Yeah, Ghost Town.
Some great.
Moonraker up in Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like every Friday before we make pizza, we go on a beer run to this little shop that we go to that curates. Like, there are a bunch of stores around here that have a million cans, and I'm exhausted looking at them. These guys, you know, they carry maybe a dozen breweries, but if you grab a can off the shelf,
It's going to be good.
It's going to be
That's
great.
good, man.
Yeah,
I wish more people focused on that.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, we're just carrying the good shit, not all the shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not all the shit. Yeah, exactly.
And pulling stuff off the shelves when it's not fresh anymore. And not like, I don't even feel most of the time like I need to check dates in there.
No.
Yeah.
Occasionally there will be some, you'll just be like, all right, guys, maybe it's time to take this one off the shelf.
Yeah.
But not very often. Not very often at all.
Yeah.
Well, like one of the things that's crazy to me still is like, you're talking about working at a homebrew shop in '93. Like, that was still at a point when you could probably name 90% of the breweries in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could probably damn near name 3 or 4 of their beers on top of it, just because there wasn't anything around.
No, there was. I mean, we had a few around here, so we had early access to some of the original craft brew, but yeah, it was a handful. Speaking of which, I don't think I can ever drink another Sierra Nevada Pale in my life. I think.
Yeah.
You've outpaled yourself.
Outpaled myself.
Yeah. Well, and you were there at the jump off,
Yeah, from the very beginning, and actually, a friend of ours, Steve, who opened Santa Clara Valley Brewing, there was a contract brewer in Morgan Hill that was brewing a bunch of the like early California microbrews actually
Sure.
out of one facility, kind of in a cheap area in Morgan Hill. And Steve cut his chops working there at
that's
at
awesome.
the very, very beginning of the explosion. He and his dad ran a liquor store, and he wasn't even old enough to drink really, but he started drinking the like Sierra Nevada that came in, and he's like, this stuff is really good. What is this? And his dad's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
You figure it out. Like, is there something?
Yeah, right.
Is there something going on here? So then he ran like one of the very first curated liquor store microbrew collections anywhere in the world.
That's so awesome.
You know, after
crazy.
after this new boom of brewing in the U.S.
Yeah, well, we're ticking up on like 8,500 active breweries now.
It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
And I haven't seen the stats, but I'm, you know, everyone expected a lot of breweries to take shit during the pandemic, but
We did
And we-
too.
and we saw pretty varied results, but the ones who kind of figured out what they were doing
Yeah.
grew.
Did pickups
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
deliveries.
doing
We had,
pickups and
growth. We had growth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
What was it
Well,
like to run
yeah.
a brewery in the
Yeah,
last?
tell
in
us
the
about
last
this.
Yeah, just about as bad as it is any other time.
Yeah.
Just finding solutions, you know. You're just finding new solutions. That's
Yeah.
what you
New-
do all
new
the time
pro-
anyway.
You know,
New problem, new
I
solution.
think the thing that a lot of us had to navigate more than anything was just margin.
Yeah,
You know, we've all been able the last few years to go on this like really like tap room heavy model. And regardless of how big your brewery is, the margins on pint sales in your tap room are just so huge. And they're built into your business plan.
yeah,
And like going to just selling 6-packs.
Yeah.
And you're like, we have to sell 5 times as many of these to make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
It was hard.
Yeah. It was also about staying present, staying relevant. You
Yeah.
know, like we got shut down twice here in Nebraska. Bars and restaurants were shut down for
Oh, really?
significant amounts of time. So having foot traffic still come in, get to go, you know, that took work.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for sure. And what are maybe no one listening to this cares, but in the spirit of this episode, I don't give a fuck if they care or not. because I care. Shit, now I said too many words. I can't remember what the fuck I was
You
going
don't
to ask
really
you.
care.
Oh no. So what
It's
are the
over.
what are
Yeah,
the
we're
what are the packaging laws like in Nebraska? Like, so that was a big thing in California, was we have these really strict laws, and so to-go beer wasn't a thing really in a lot of cases before the pandemic, and they really loosened things up, and it was fucking great.
I did that here too.
Was
Yeah.
it so? Did you guys have? Because like I go to Oregon a lot, and Oregon's pretty much paradise.
Yeah.
If you make or consume beer, because you can go to like the Round Table Pizza and bring a milk carton, and they'll fill it up with beer and send you home.
So our goofiest law here in Nebraska for like breweries and to go is I can't fill like a growler that's branded with another brewery's stuff,
Oh, yeah, we
Gotcha.
had that.
which
Right,
is
or had
real,
that.
which is real weird to me. Like, you know, it's still got the government warning on it. It's still got all that
Yeah.
shit on it. And like, why I can't just slap a sticker over it and say, hey, you know, this supersedes this. That's really our only goofy thing we have here.
That's
We can
That's not bad.
sell growlers, crowlers. We can sell 6-packs, 4-packs, 12-packs.
And there's you don't have any ABV minimum or maximums or
No,
anything.
and we don't have any of that.
Utah.
I grew up in Salt Lake, so I know wacky liquor laws.
We go to Utah pretty often.
Oh, do you
and
really?
are aware that you can't order a beer without some goddamn nachos.
Yeah, without food.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can really do whatever we want.
well, that's
One of
good.
the things that Nebraska did that was really cool was allowed us to do just like cocktails.
It was cool, but also weird.
Yeah.
You could like take a milk jug in and
Yeah.
get a gallon of
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
sex on the
Margarita.
breeze or whatever. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
super
it was
weird.
crazy.
People were
Yeah.
selling like
Jello shots to go.
or just like
Really?
a shot to go.
Yeah, and like
in a
a
little ranch cup.
the dressing container.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh, they're
It
well.
was like
See,
the Wild West around here.
well, California did the same thing. Opened all of that up, and as far as I know, it's still open.
Oh, ours
So-
is too.
Ours-
It's permanent now.
Yeah.
They made ours permanent.
Yeah, ours is permanent.
Might as well. I mean, they saw that the state didn't like fall into disarray.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
the rules that are still in place though are the rules that are paid for by the fucking crooked distribution and
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
brewing lobbies. That's where they fuck you. I have friends who run a brewery in Florida, and like you can't package and sell your own beer at your own facility without paying the cut to the distributor, which
So
is
Yeah,
that's
taxes-
different here.
Yeah.
but
yeah.
They have to
Yeah.
do that in Texas too.
Oh, fuck that.
It's just like
Mhm.
what, like what?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Well,
sucks.
Biden came out today, and I didn't see the press conference, but I got an email from the Brewers Association today, from their like legislative action kind of lobbying side. That,
Oh yeah.
that the Biden administration is going to really kind of like be looking into those kind of practices and squashing it.
Oh,
Good.
nice. Good.
Fuck yeah.
One of the things that's hard is after Prohibition, that stuff was really given over to the states.
Yeah.
And that's why you see this like fucked up psycho patchwork of
Yeah.
how it all works.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're a brewery and you're distributing in more than a handful of states, I mean, you almost have to have a person on your staff, and their only job is compliance.
Yeah, like regulatory shit and
Right,
legal.
because, you
That's
send
crazy.
you send stuff to Missouri, and anything over 6% has to have like lab testing.
Oh,
You have
Jesus.
to do it like every 6 months, and if you send it to this other state, you have to have lab testing, but it's once a year, and you send it to this state and it's every quarter, and like everywhere you go is completely different on what you have to do.
Oh, that's
And-
insane.
And of course, everybody in the office is more than happy to help you.
No, they're
Yeah.
not.
People
And at
love
the
doing
last
that
brewery
shit.
I worked at, with Missouri specifically, there was one lady that was so bad in the office that if we called to ask questions and she answered, we'd hang up the phone and call back in like 10 minutes. And we'd get some other dude that was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's cool, that's fine." And you'd be like, "All right, man." And then like a month later, you're calling back, "Hey, this is Cheryl," or whatever,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Click."
Click.
Yeah, you need to
And
have
it was-
you need to have
It
a
was the
mole.
best when we figured it out. It solved all our problems in Missouri.
Nice.
That's funny. Yeah, you gotta have a have a
It's such
mole
a-
in the office, and when Peg goes on a smoke break,
Yeah.
then you can call
Yeah.
it in.
Once you going on vacation, shit,
Yeah.
you just
Oh,
get
our-
it all done in that week.
A ton of shit gets done that week.
Our craziest. So this is the craziest one that I heard about in California, and it's not related to packaging and selling, which is if you wanted to brew beer, but then you also wanted to make cider and mead in the same facility, you literally have to duplicate your facilities, not share any equipment or process, and have completely separate licensing for the entire
Yeah.
thing. Even though we know as people who understand fermentation that who fucking cares where the sugar comes from, right? Does it matter?
Yeah, and see here in Nebraska, I can produce mead and I can produce cider exactly like I can beer on the state level. But if I want to do it and submit everything properly through the feds, I have to do a whole separate process through that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
how long has the brewery been open? And when did you like take that jump to be like from home brewer to brewery
Yeah.
owner?
To brewery employee to owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, employee to owner.
We opened in October of 2018.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're still pretty
Yeah,
fresh.
Sneaking
we
up
don't
on
really
3
count
years.
last year either, I feel like. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
last year doesn't count.
But man, if you were doing well enough or were well capitalized enough to make it through last year, you got to feel pretty good about
yeah.
that.
Well, we
Yeah.
just got really lucky with timing on that too, because we were just at like a year and a half when the pandemic hit.
Mhm.
And dude, we were just on that like uptick. We were
Oh.
like finally seeing that like, oh shit,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
we can get, maybe we can get paid. Like maybe we aren't gonna starve, and
We can pay ourselves now.
But yeah, like if we wouldn't have been hitting, I think right when we were, last year would have been a lot tougher than it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we were seeing the swing hit hard, and then we changed distributors right before the pandemic too, which saved our ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just on this huge uptick, and it was like, holy shit, it's finally here. And then like 3 days later, it was like,
God damn.
You're chewing your fingers down to the bone.
Maybe that was like just perfect timing where people just discovered you, and then when you went away and they were like, no!
Yeah, right?
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, career-wise, brewing trajectory, I got really into beer in the early 90s. And kind of that first big uptick of things being available, like seeing like Sierra Nevada everywhere. Here in the Midwest, I went to school in Lawrence, Kansas then. And so Boulevard from Kansas City was just huge down there then. Free State Brewing in Lawrence, Kansas was huge then too. And it was really that first push of like seeing other stuff like Anchor Brewing being kind of nationwide, and trying to think of what else would have hit nationwide at that time.
Sam Adams.
Yeah, the Sam Adams stuff was hitting then too. And so, it was really kind of like a handful of like national things you could see. And then, everything else, there weren't even really a lot of regional breweries then. Outside of Boulevard in the Midwest, there was nothing as far as like packaging breweries. So, it was that kind of patchwork of those national guys. And then everything else locally was just brew pubs, which I absolutely loved. It was like so cool to be able.
It was like all you could get too.
Yeah, and like that's how I discovered this was a job and a career. Was we walked in, I was 18. I did music stuff early in college, and my parents would always come down for like choir concerts and stuff, and we were just always asking, hey, where should we go eat? What should we check out? And people were always say Free State, Free State, Free State. And so I had no idea it was a brewery. And when we finally walked in, like you walk in and you look down and you see in the brewery, and everybody was still at work brewing that day. And it was kind of like one of those, oh shit, like this is a job, like Fritz Maytag from Anchors. He has this great story that he was just walking by the brewery and saw a for sale sign and was like, holy shit, you can own a brewery? And he got his checkbook, got his big fat checkbook out and just bought the goddamn brewery.
Man, the collective Bay Area microbrew heads exploded when they redid their packaging.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, you probably heard it all the way from
I remember.
over there.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what you got? What's wrong with you? But yeah, I just, it just kind of always stuck with me, and it's always something I wanted to do. And it kind of had in the back of my head, like, hey, I'm going to open a brewery, right? And then, I still went and finished college and did all that bullshit that I was supposed to do. And then finally graduated when I was almost 30.
It happens.
And then I have a social studies teaching degree, and like I couldn't get a job without us having to move to Houston or Vegas or pick a place you don't want to live. And
you just named two of them.
Yeah. Teaching job. And so we just finally got to a point where we were like, well, what are we gonna do? And having a lovely supporting partner. She was like, you just need to start brewing, and we just need to figure out how to make this happen. So I finally started home brewing almost 14 years ago now, and homebrewed for a while. I ended up quitting a job that I hated. It was kind of spur of the moment. The phone conversation went, hey, what do you think about redoing the kitchen next year? And she said, you're quitting your job? And I said, yep. And we've still never redone the kitchen.
No.
But you do have a kitchen at the brewery, though, right?
No,
We got a bigger house.
Yeah,
we moved to a bigger house, so it doesn't count.
No.
Okay.
But right after I quit my job, I ran into Paul Kavalak, who was the owner of Nebraska Brewing Company up in Omaha, and I had been friends with their head brewer Tyson, who's still their head brewer. I've been friends with him through homebrewing stuff and just like kind of beer meetups. And Paul was like, hey, you know Tyson? And I was like, yeah, man, you know, and he was like, well, we're looking for an assistant brewer. What are you up to? And I was like, shit, dude, I like literally quit my job last week. And
I'm up to working for you.
and it just worked out, you know?
Yeah.
And I worked there for about 4.5 years. And then at the end of my tenure there, Michelle just kind of started getting crazy with her work schedule, and commuting from Lincoln to Omaha just really stopped working for us. I mean, there were days where she was out of town, like, you know, 2 weeks of the month. And I would literally be dropping kids off at daycare the second I could. And then I'd be like on the interstate coming home, just like white knuckling it, like weaving traffic and like.
Sounds fun.
And then getting there the last second I had to pick them up. And like after doing that for months, we were just like, look, this job's just got to go. I'd really planned on staying there for at least another year or so, because we had just built a big production brewery. And it just wasn't working for the family. So I gave my notice and like worked through the summer, and then started on this. And then we had a couple iterations of what this business was and looked like, split with some friends and partners along the way, that kind of slowed us down. But yeah, it was really about 4 years ago when we finally got like our financing green lit with the bank and just went for it.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is the same ethos, man. You gotta just want to do it, like to get. You know, I mean, you were in bands, right? To go get in the practice room.
Nobody cares.
Find
right?
an artist to draw the art for the tour poster or the album cover, and like you just do you learn how to do every single thing yourself. Every successful underground band I know, every member of that band has 7 jobs. There's only a few. Matt Pike is one of the few people I know who's only got one job, and that is to shred sweet riffs.
Sweet riffs.
But in that band, Dez had 4 jobs. Jeff has about a dozen jobs to make up for the fact that Matt only needs to have one job. But no, man, everybody does. Everybody knows how to do a bunch of shit. It's just,
I think
the way it works.
The thing we had to figure out too is like, what's the shit we can do, and you know, what do we need to farm out? Floyd wants to party.
Floyd wants to party. That's what we're
wants
drinking
to
now.
party.
If you're listening.
Cheers.
Yeah. That's our dog.
Oh, really?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
One of them.
Floyd.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Does
so
Floyd
he's our
want to
dumbest
party?
dog.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He wants to party all day.
All day long.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is our summer lager. It's just Pilsner malt, and then it's a newer hop from Germany called Monroe.
Okay.
A lot of like really nice. It's kind of got that German continental underline hop thing to it, but then on top of that is like a lot of like cherry and kind of raspberry to it too.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's a summer sipper.
Mm-hmm.
We've been selling the shit out of this beer.
Yeah, nice.
It's a summer chugger, and
Floyd
I
wants
like
to
the
party.
devotion to more than just making West Coast and East Coast and hazy IPAs. Having a full range.
We're pretty clear of the New England kind of hazy stuff. You know, that Everything Has Eyes is about as close as you're ever going to see from us on that front. I mean, that's why we kind of jokingly call it a post-haze IPA. You know, anybody outside of the music underground
Yeah, exactly. It's
doesn't.
post-haze.
Yeah.
They just call it, I'll take that hazy.
Yeah, so you know, for all the squares, we call it a hazy. For all the Pelican fans,
It's a post-haze.
hard.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much everything we do, like, I mean, number one for me has to be recognizable as beer first and foremost, and then it has to be drinkable. I jokingly say that, you know, I make these beers like this because I like to drink a shitload of beer, and it's not true.
Yeah, these are beers that you can drink a bunch of. So you're not a big fan of the Warhead fruit flavored sour beers? Have you had one of those yet?
I had one, like the blue raspberry one,
yeah.
at some point, and like, god damn, leave my teeth alone.
Yeah, my 18-year-old daughter thought it was good. I bought a couple of extra cans and left them in the fridge for. Well, it was bad. I mean, I got beefs for days. Get all your milkshake, get all your milk sugar out of my fucking beer.
Yeah.
I think I don't feel the exact
I
same
hate
as you
coffee.
about that, but
Period. So if you put coffee in my beer, I'm mad at you. But that's okay. As long as you have a beer that doesn't have coffee in it, I'm fine.
yeah.
But I mean, one of the first things. So I was living in Berkeley with my best friend Dan in college, and we decided to brew in our apartment. And
Oh shit.
I made one of, I think, California's very first spontaneously fermented raspberry beers. It was not intentional.
Spontaneously
Never is.
fermented.
That never is.
It was definitely not intentional. And when I think back to the memory of that beer, I think like, oh, I probably cracked a bottle of Rare Barrel and poured it into a glass and drank it and said, oh yeah, that's exactly what that tasted
exactly
like.
what it tasted
We
like.
thought it was an utter failure. It was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
We didn't even drink it.
Now people are collecting that
Didn't
shit.
even
Now
know
they're
you were
collecting
on
it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that okay. So the real fun quirks of that apartment was we had no cooling rig at all.
Yeah.
So the cooling method was the bathtub.
Yep.
And if you had money for ice, then you could put ice in the water. But if not, you just had to run the water.
Yeah.
And we were on the second floor, and below us was a retired pimp named Laverne, and Laverne's caretaker. And so we're fucking trying to cool that beer off and running water over the outside of the carboy, and like someone starts hammering on our door, and apparently we had like angled it right so the water was going up through the overflow, and it was like raining in their apartment from us running the bathtub for like a half hour trying to cool that beer off. Oh fuck, man.
I love the retired pimp with a caretaker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Named Laverne.
This is Berkeley has a fantastic social safety net for everyone, and they take care of sex workers. Like I remember a cop telling me in college, like we had weed, and he's like, we're trying to hide it. He's like, don't worry about it. This is Berkeley. We will never ever give you a ticket for.
That's what it was like in Lawrence too.
Yeah. He's like, I'll give you a ticket for jaywalking before I give you don't jaywalk with the joint. Just stay on the sidewalk and smoke it.
Because then I have to get you for both.
We were like, all right.
Yeah, I got a jaywalking ticket in Lawrence, Kansas. Out of all the dumb shit
my
I did in that town, I got a fucking jaywalking ticket.
Oh my god.
That's pretty.
It's insane.
That's pretty
crazy.
funny. So do you guys have space to do music events at the brewery? Do you guys throw any shows, or do you have space for it?
Yeah, so we are in process. The only show we've done so far is our first year anniversary party. We had some friends bands play. We had Domestica, who used to be Mercy Rule here in Lincoln, which was one of my favorite bands growing up. They like reformed 5 or 6 years ago. They played. Our buddies Laughing Falcon played, and then my buddy James Deweese came and did Reggie and the Full Effect solo show for us.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Really?
Kind of cool.
That's awesome.
And was kind of also insane because that was like at a time when he wasn't doing well.
Oh man.
Gotcha.
But it was that's still the only show we've ever done. And it was fucking awesome. But we have space in so we're in an old Laser Quest laser tag.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Oh,
So,
that's
Amazing.
The front room where the tap room and stuff is kind of where like the party rooms were, where the check-in and pinball games and all that shit were. And then we have this giant middle room where we have kind of like some support equipment, like our boilers there, or a mill room. But like where the what do they call
Like
it?
the maze.
The
for
obstacles.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
the maze
was.
were.
Yeah.
And then we have another room in the back where all the brewing and packaging equipment is. And in that middle room where it used to be the laser tag arena, arena.
Yeah,
That's
the
what-
arena.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the arena. It's not as fancy as it sounds.
No.
But we're getting ready to do our 3rd anniversary party here in a couple weeks. We're doing a show then. As soon as we get some of our EIDL money hitting, we're probably just going to buy a PA and a light rig and monitors.
Nice.
And we're just going to start doing shows. One of the things that happens here, I mean, we're right between I mean, we are exactly between Minneapolis and Denver, Chicago and Denver.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
looking at. I got my tour routing hat on
we're
right now.
at,
So-
we are Union driver stop distance
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
all those places. And
Nice.
we've had so many friends on tour, and I'm like, dude, why don't you guys come play here? And one of the things that's happened in Lincoln is we've had a couple venues close. We've had a couple venues that used to have shows, 4 nights a week that only do shows on Thursday nights now. The best venue in town is 1,000-seat theater, which, I mean, come on. There's not a lot of bands playing 1,000-seat theaters in fucking Lincoln.
No.
We can probably fit about 200 people in our back room for a show.
That's a
which
good
for
size.
Yeah, that's good
most of the
size.
stuff we're listening to and interested in hosting here is an appropriate size for the bands that we want to have come play.
We would cry with joy if we had access to a brewery
With a 200-person venue.
like-minded owners and a 200 cap venue.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
'cause-
like we had one of the cool things we had happen. Our buddy John Hopkins was front of house guy for a lot of bands. And he died last year, which is like terrible.
Yeah, John worked for fucking everybody, right?
John worked for everybody, and they'd come through on routing, and he'd just be like, hey, we're just showing up with Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats and stand in your parking lot. And we have a really cool hotel about a block and a half away, so he'd route everybody through, park in the parking lot, and they'd just get like one room, and everybody take turns walking over to do showers and shit. They'd always let the bus driver stay in the hotel, and everybody else would sleep on the bus, and like he'd just bring people through all the time.
Nice. That's awesome.
We met John because he was doing Sound for High on Fire when they played.
Yeah.
Was he?
He's like he was really close to them, and he did front of house for the Melvins. Yeah.
Oh,
Sleep.
yeah. He was the preferred guy for
everybody.
Fire, Owen, Melvins, Weed Eater, Overkill, Uncle Acid. Yeah, he just worked with everybody and was the best fucking dude.
That's awesome.
The
That's
best.
awesome.
Yeah, you guys are in a really good spot. And if like there's a show in Omaha, they could still somebody depending on the size could still play in Lincoln, right? It's like an hour.
Yeah, they usually don't.
Yeah,
but
they're gonna go one or the other. Usually.
They're in a hurry to get to Denver, to get to wherever else.
Yeah, and one of the things that's happened too is kind of the venue that has been doing heavy shows of a smaller size. I don't think they're opening back up. So I mean,
really?
we have like a huge hole. We have a huge hole for that, like under 500, 600 seat capacity.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know us, and we're friends with a lot of people, and
exactly. It sounds like you could bring in great bands, and
And
I mean, it sounds like something that's going to take the brewery even, I mean, you're already doing great as just a brewery.
Yeah, right. And
at a venue, yeah.
Right. And, one of the things that we've been running into is we're just kind of hitting the ceiling of who's coming in, right?
Yeah.
On like Tuesday, who's coming in on Friday, who's coming in on Saturday. And like being able to like pop this into venue territory, and, even if we just do a show a week, would be huge for us.
Yeah.
And I think we can probably get to a point. I don't ever really want to be a full-time venue.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I don't want to be booking shit that I don't fucking care about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything that we do, I think, has to have our seal of approval on.
Even once a month, like a great show once a month where everyone in town's like, yep, it's on my calendar. I'm definitely going to that show.
Yep. And I think we're going to start kind of easing in by just doing like local Saturday night shows like every Saturday, and just be trying to grab people on tour here and there.
Yeah.
The Wake guys out in the Quad Cities that I was talking about earlier that were on that Box and Hops too.
Oh yeah.
One of the brothers from that group, he's booked shows in the Quad Cities forever. And I mean, we can just get people pipelined from there to Denver, or from Denver to Chicago.
Yeah, that helps. And then being on the radar for all the tour bookers at this level. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Nate Carson, heavy talent,
Yep.
Ian Watts, like all those guys.
Yeah.
They're constant. I mean, we deal with them for booking shows here, and
Yeah.
there's just always some fucking spot in the schedule where you can't find a place, and you need, even if it's seems out of the way or seems like a market that you might normally not want to do. And a lot of times from touring, those are the best shows. Like some of my favorite towns to play in have been the towns that people skip, pretty regularly because the audience is hungry.
We're hungry, dude.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, it's not Chicago. This isn't Chicago,
Yeah.
This isn't Minneapolis. This isn't Denver. Even Kansas City. I mean, even Kansas City, there are times that they're starved for shows,
Yeah.
And people show up and are fucking stoked that you're here. Hard. And what sucks is that for every show, people come through this market and have a shit day. The worst one, man, I'm going to tell you guys, the worst fucking show that I felt the worst for people at. This was probably 5 years ago. Inner Arma came through.
Yeah.
Had the outlet opening up for them. And we had like 15, 20 days of just horrible rain. And people had been bailing their basements out of water for like days and days and days and days and days. That show showed up the day it stopped raining, and then like got to the show and there were like 8 people there.
Oh no!
And I walked in and it was just like, fuck, you guys are never coming back, But it's like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Wow!
But hold up though, because that's not necessarily true. It was Spotlights that we were talking to.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you have the right mindset as a band, and I totally agree with this, that shit's gonna happen. You play enough shows, those shows happen. So what you do is you go into that going, fucking, let's blow this up. Make it the most memorable night. Those 8 people.
For those 8 people.
Yeah.
And then somewhere down the road. I mean, Inner Arma is big enough at this point where it's fuck, man, we were there the night only 8 people became Inner Arma.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
And just as the band, just lean into that. Like if the tour overall was a success, then who cares? Then you got to give some people a real special night that they're probably never going to experience again.
Yeah, I was listening to that Spotlights when they were like, we just do like, what are they talking about, that Shiner show where they just smoke the dude out in the van?
Yeah, in the van. That was funny.
Can you imagine being that guy?
I was like, I love you. And they're like, hey, just smoke in the van. And listen to the new record.
Yeah, if I could get a time machine, I would go to that spot so I could be in the van with
Sir,
Shiner.
you could be that guy. No.
It'd be killer.
Would you go see Jimi Hendrix? Fuck no, I'm going to that show.
No.
Smoke that dude out in the van.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. But I've always been a small venue guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm too, man. And like people always ask us all the time, they're like, how do you know all these people? And it's like, well, I fucking go to the shows and I talk to people and like hang out.
Yeah.
Like not on tour to be in a goddamn bubble. I mean, some people are, right? But like
Janny Lane was, for sure.
Yeah.
He was on tour, judging by the line outside of the bus, to meet like 46-year-old women who had definitely like stopped time in 1987, but time didn't actually stop. But they were still there. They were living it hard, and we were just like, wow. We were
They
like,
have all the leg warmers and the
no,
the spandex and the Reeboks.
It was actually a fun night, and I was fucking front and center with my lighter when they played. God, what's the ballad? The one Warrant ballad.
Heaven isn't too far
Heaven.
away.
Yeah, when they played Heaven, we were just fucking right because I was hammered by that point. I was like, Warrant! It was actually a really fun night. Even
like no joke, that's one of my dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich is one of my favorite fucking records, dude.
Really?
Yeah, 32 pennies, just on 32 pennies alone. Like that opener, man. Like, god damn. Like I was like in 9th grade or 8th or 9th grade when that came out, and was just like, fuck, like this is awesome.
Well, you can see what they used to be. They did a reverse Pantera. They totally did. They started off as the Pantera we know, and then they flipped into the glam band. I just coined a
Yeah.
Reverse
a reverse Pantera.
So we do this thing at our
That's your
house
next
called,
beer.
we do this thing in our house called Beer Name Called It. And,
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
I can't wait to have a can of reverse Pantera.
oh my God, there's just
Out
another.
of context, I feel like
Yeah,
it
there's-
sounds gross.
Yeah, right. It's like a sex act, right?
Oh, it's definitely
It's in the Kama Sutra. I looked it
no,
up.
it's in the
I'm
Urban
gonna look
Dictionary.
it up on a fucking
Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary.
Reverse Pantera. Jesus.
That's what I mean. This is my brain. That's the art, though. It's like the art is the sex act that is the reverse Pantera.
How do you?
So
But with
all I'm getting for hits is things for Arctic Cat, like snowmobiles,
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
reversible shifting links.
All right.
Dude, okay, well, you know what? You said it. That I think the
I said
copyright
it.
kicks in as soon
Copyright.
as you say it. You put it on paper or on a recording. It's copyrighted. You go
God,
on.
who's got to do who has to do the art for the reverse Pantera?
Skinner.
I'll just call Phil. We'll just call Phil and have him do the art.
There we go.
There you
Have
go.
Jimmy have Jimmy Bowers do it at Phil's house.
Although
man.
Skinner would be nice.
Skinner would be awesome.
I'm head to toe in Skinner right now. You can't really.
Oh yeah,
It's green, so it's not. I even got the matching marijuana shorts.
Jesus.
Because I mean, why not? Why wouldn't
Why
I? Why wouldn't I?
Oh.
I don't have to go to a job in person. I can wear whatever the hell I want.
Speaking of spotlights,
Yes.
I want to talk about the beer.
Oh.
yeah.
Because before you guys come on, Jeff and I were talking a little bit about sort of how there's starting to be more collaborations between breweries and beers. It kind of started. We had Jeff mentioned the Iron Maiden beer,
Yeah.
and there was
Some German
Mastodon.
brewery made a Mastodon
But then
beer.
it's like, were those real beers or were those
that beer is fucking dope from
Yeah.
Mars.
It's a
Man,
good beer if
those
that's a
guys make-
style you like.
Mars makes really good beer. Yeah.
Oh, good. But yeah, I mean, you're starting to see a lot more, especially here. A lot of the craft breweries are doing these
Yeah.
things with. So how did the spotlights thing come about? And
So
how does
yeah,
that work when you do a collab beer?
Well,
I keep saying collab.
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 So yeah, so this
Collab.
is the thing. Like with the Vox and Hop stuff, the Canadian guys all say collab.
Collab.
When I say collab, so
Collab. Yeah.
are you
Because I
Canadian?
spent too many years
Which
in
one of you guys is
Canada.
Canadian?
He did. No, he lived in Vancouver for.
I did live in Vancouver for like 6 years.
Yeah. All
I
right,
pronounce
we're off the
pasta. I drive a Mazda.
Oh my god. I can't be friends with you.
Yeah,
This is
I mean,
awful.
we've done collabs so far. We've done one with Municipal Waste. We're getting
Nice.
ready to do our second with the Waste crew for Decibel Metal and Beer.
Oh, you're doing one of the Decibel.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Sick.
Yeah. So we'll be out. We'll be out in Philly for that at the end of September. We've done the beer with spotlights. We were supposed to be at the Philly Decibel in
Oh yeah.
Last year.
April of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we actually got it brewed and then never got to send it out, but we did a collab with Magic Circle for that.
And the bands usually just say,
Bands.
"That'd be rad. Will you send us some beer?"
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah.
Like, what do the bands
and
get anything in return?
It's really been different with everybody, like
Yeah.
sometimes it's a percentage, sometimes it's part of an event, sometimes it's this. So, really, I mean, we just kind of try to keep everything we do just organic and moving
Yeah.
and flowing. Like we don't try to force anything. And so, but yeah, it's really been different with everybody. Like the Municipal Waste stuff, Whitty's been a good buddy of mine for a long time.
Mhm.
And I actually met him on the floor at Great American Beer Fest one year.
Oh, nice.
I was still
Your
at,
pretzel necklaces.
yeah, right. We still had our pretzel necklaces on and our bullet belts.
Yeah.
Fucked up when you mix them up and break your tooth. But I was still at Nebraska Brewing then, and I think he was out there with Chris Dodge on a Decibel pass. And we just met in the middle of the floor. And I was with one of our mutual friends, and he introduced us, and it was like, "Hey man," he's like, "I'm Dave," and I was like, "Okay, cool. What do you do?" And he was like, "I play music," and I was like, "What band are you in?" And he was like, "I play drums in Municipal Waste," and I was like, holy shit. I was like, dude, you were in like Burnt by the Sun and Discordance Axis. And he goes, and you brew Black Betty. And I was like, fuck! Best friends.
That explosion.
Yeah, right. And
great.
like, it was just really fucking cool.
So we had Armand from Sick of It All. So
dude.
were you at the Decibel Fest when Armand was his drum tech?
Was the drum
No,
tech for
but I
Municipal
know
Waste?
about that. Yeah, I met Armand last year when they were through, when Waste was through on that Napalm Death tour that they were doing with those.
Oh, yeah.
Sick of It All. Yeah, Armand's like, we're good buddies now. We became friends at the show, and then Instagram buddies, and we text and talk all the time now. But yeah,
That's
I've heard
awesome.
that story where he was like his tech at the show.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
fuck, man, like what is happening?
Oh, we both rated our cellars after having Armand on, and we sent him a box, and he was like, "Holy shit!" Because we both have like more barrel aged stouts than
Everything.
we know it.
Don't even drink them anymore.
12 years and 30 varieties of Eclipse from 50-50 and like entire verticals of most of Firestone Walker.
Every
like,
Black Friday
every
for like
Black,
6 years.
Every Black
Yeah.
Tuesday for 6 years.
Black
Yeah,
Tuesday?
you know,
Was it
Black
Black
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave and I talked about doing stuff off and on forever. And then, it took us longer to get this kind of off the ground than we thought it would. And then as soon as they were coming through town, it was just like, I was like, hey, dude, I saw the fucking tour. We're doing a beer for the Lincoln show. And it was just like, boom, boom, boom.
Nice.
All done. When we did the Magic Circle beer, that was really all through Decibel.
Yeah.
They kind of, I was like, hey, who's open for collabs still? And they gave me, 2 or 3 of the bands, and I was like, fuck, Magic Circle, that's what we're doing.
So who's the beer nut at Decibel? Is it Albert or is it somebody else?
I think it's all of them, but I think Albert is definitely leading the charge.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that.
And Dave got us connected with them too. It was right before the last LA Decibel that they did.
Yeah.
Waste was coming through, and they were doing like a Minneapolis to Chicago thing, or Minneapolis to Denver thing. Ended up rerouting just to come hang out at the brewery. And I was like, Dave, dude, what do we have to do to get on this Decibel shit? And he was like, hold on. And he like went out to the bus, called Albert, and like came back out, and he was like, dude, it's too close to LA, but you're in for Philly. And I was just like, oh.
Cool. What do I have to do?
Cool. Like,
you have to know the right person.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Just like it's all, yeah, and you just ask, right? Just
Yeah.
ask. I mean, because everybody, the worst people will tell you is to fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Look, after we're on pulling bands together for our fourth tribute record for Glory or Death, and very quickly during the first record, we just were like, fuck it, you just ask. Like,
just ask.
Like, aim wherever you want, because it's a waste of energy to try to figure out who's going to say yes and who's going to say no.
And the worst they can do is say no.
The worst they do is go nah, or ignore you. But whatever, that's fine. I get ignored a lot anyways.
And with the Spotlight stuff, like we had a mutual friend, Justin, who passed away, and I never knew Mario and Sarah before I met him on tour.
Yeah.
And I had heard our friend, my friend Justin's sister Courtney, who we still talk to all the time, was always like, hey, that Spotlights band, blah 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 blah. And like I knew they had toured with Deftones. I'd heard some of their stuff, and when you listen to a shitload of records, like really good stuff falls through the cracks all the time.
It does. That's
why we started this podcast.
Right? I know I had listened to at least something like off Titles at some point.
Yeah.
And then Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast, who I did that collab with for Vox and Hops, they were on his show, and I think he played Learn to Breathe off Seismic as the intro.
Oh, nice.
And man, like I was just like, I'm
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
this all up, you guys. And then they were on that like monster tour with the Melvins, where they were like on the road for like 17 years, I think.
Yeah.
that was like a 3-month tour or whatever. And I remember seeing that pop up and just like, I was like, holy shit, like nobody tours like this anymore.
Yeah.
And was so stoked. And then I saw they were on it. The only thing that sucked was Torch was in town on the same day.
Oh, come on.
And I will say this all the time. I don't have a favorite band, but Torch is probably my favorite band.
Yeah.
So they were playing with the Melvins, and Torch was playing at another venue in Omaha. So I went up early, and like I got in touch with them through our friend Courtney, and was just like, hey guys, I'm gonna be at the show. I want to hang out and meet you guys. I don't want to be a dick, but I'm gonna bail and go see Torch. Right? So went up, had a couple beers with them in the afternoon. Went in and watched them do sound check. They played a couple tunes, and then Melvins came out and they did their like combined song together. And then they like got off stage and were doing some other stuff, and like Melvins were just like doing their sound check. And I think they played 5 songs, and the only people in the room were the Melvins and me. And I wasn't friends with Hopkins yet, but he was on the soundboard and like the bartender, you know, and like I had my own little private Melvin show.
Nice.
And then I was like bounced out, and I was like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I got to get down to this Torch show. And like walked by the venue they were playing at, and they were doing sound check. And I know those guys a little bit, and Rick was back on the drums and like saw me walking by and was like, come on in, man. And so I like got to go in and watch Torch sound check with me and the sound guy and the bartender.
You're like Forrest Gump of the Midwest metal scene.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah.
I got her.
Dumbest motherfucker just walking around. Like,
oh,
God,
me? Oh,
like,
sure, I'll come in.
Yeah. Fuck, yeah. All right.
All these just chance encounters.
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
right. It was seriously one of the best days of my goddamn life.
That's awesome.
So, like, you know, when I was talking to Mario and Sarah, I was just like, hey guys, you know, we're doing this brewery. You know, we're just getting the money and looking at building out, so we're still a ways out. But I was like, if you guys are putting out a new record, if you're doing anything, coming through town, whatever, I was like, let's do a beer and let's dedicate it to Justin. And then we just kind of stayed in touch, you know, and those guys are some of our absolute best friends now.
Yeah.
They're great. I mean, they're incredible.
So awesome. Yeah. And Chris, man, their drummer Chris is so fucking awesome too.
Yeah.
And like we just became really good friends with them even before we did the beer.
Yeah.
And then Mario sent me like promo copy of Love and Decay.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, you know, I had to live with that for a while, and it was hard, man. It was
not
a really
talk
hard
about
movie.
it.
That would be so hard.
Not
It's
sure.
so
Like,
good.
Yeah.
When Justin died, we were really busy with other stuff. Like we had just had our daughter. My stepson was going through all this. He's autistic and was going through all this testing and like overnight stuff. Like when the funeral happened, and like we couldn't go be part of that. And so there's always been this sort of like, we just kind of had to quash everything that was happening then. And it was just always really hard to like revisit.
Yeah.
And so when we did this beer, like it was just emotionally draining. Oh my God, it was nuts. Like, and when I went to write copy for the beer label, like I was like in my office with the door shut, like bawling and like,
don't ask Dad why he's crying. He doesn't want to talk right now.
I'm like, I hope none of my employees are paying attention to anything that's happening right now.
Oh no! What if they know you're vulnerable and have feelings?
Have feelings.
How terrible!
Yeah, I think they all know better.
Yeah.
Because that just gets turned off quick.
Yeah.
But you know, like we had I just kind of shot it out. Hey, we should do it. And then when they got ready to release Love and Decay, we were probably about 6 months out when we knew that record was coming. And we were like, yeah, let's just do it. And it was such a big hit for us. Like just like sales wise and how people responded to it.
Love that beer.
That we've just started making it a seasonal IPA. We do a lager every quarter. We release a lager, a sour, and a IPA for just seasonals. and that's become our like spring seasonal IPA because it's just been such a big hit with people.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
I would have sent you some, but we were all out. We were all out.
I don't want your spring seasonal in July.
Yeah, right.
Well, it depends on what it is.
Yeah,
But probably
True.
not.
yeah.
If it's an IPA, then no.
Yeah, probably not. Oh no, I have an IPA that we brewed for. We used to do a fundraiser party every year at our kids' elementary school
For the PTA.
for the PTA, baby.
craft beer party.
The first 2 years we brewed a beer, and the first year we brewed a 9% IPA that was fucking terrible. and I still have bottles of it, but it is the best non-barrel aged barley wine now.
Yeah.
Like 6
Perfect.
years down the road, it's fucking
Yeah.
delicious. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
nice and oxidized.
Oh, at the time it was terrible. But,
Well,
it was
Oh
fun.
man.
And that's
was
another thing. Like when we're doing beers with bands, like, we'll always get this like, oh man, we got to do this crazy thing. And I'm like, dude, it's for a fucking show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do a 10% beer.
Yeah, no, maybe
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
And last year we had we were gonna do Uncle Acid was coming through and playing an Omaha show. We were gonna do a beer with them for the Omaha show, and they were like, "Let's do this giant beer," and I was like, "Let's do a 4.5% porter," and like all of them were like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's what we want to do."
this is good. Yeah, we gotta wait. I'll hit Derek
Right?
up and see when Ghost Town is brewing, because I think you'll appreciate this. A fresh batch of Geisterfaust, which is a pilsner they do with a yeast that they get from Germany. I think it's like
Awesome.
it's a really
it's so good.
unusual yeast. It's a fucking absolutely delicious.
Sweet.
Because they do tons of IPAs. They're doing the seasonal rotating. If you want to stay on the shelves around here, you got to do that.
Yep.
And they're
You
good
need to
at
brew
it.
8 IPAs.
But they do also do lots of other stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's
Sweet.
Go ahead.
Awkward
Oh,
pause.
Awkward pause. Oh wait, we should probably listen to music.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
Oh, do we have to do that?
I could talk
I'm gonna
about
go
it.
grab a beer.
Well, we have the postcard one.
Oh shit! Yeah, go
Yeah,
grab a beer.
That was hilarious.
All right. The postcard.
The postcard submission.
All right, is that what's first?
No.
Okay.
I thought we'd build up to it.
First is the SoundCloud link, right? So
Yeah,
we gotta go
first is the SoundCloud
to
link.
fucking SoundCloud. Get out of
Yeah.
here. Put your music on Bandcamp, people. All right.
Oh man.
I know, right?
I'm
Uh-oh.
right in the eye of the storm.
Oh, I thought that was her.
I did too.
Whoa. you
Why are
thought
you echoing? What
you-
is that?
you thought that was you?
Yeah, I did.
That beer is called Eye of the Storm?
You might need to see someone. All right, so who is this? Who are we listening to?
I think the band is Smiling,
Smiling,
and I think the song is Devour.
and they're on something called Rebel Waves Records.
Yes.
And I'll put this link in the description. It's a SoundCloud link.
Why does it have a Ripple logo?
I don't know. Because anyone can steal any image off the internet and put it anywhere.
Oh,
As far as I know, Ripple does not have a band called Smiling on
I
their
don't think
roster.
and I don't think they have a sub-label called Rebel Waves.
No,
But maybe they do.
so there is Rogue Wave is a Ripple subsidiary. That's actually Corrine's label, and it's like a weird pop label.
Huh,
But
interesting.
it's not Rebel Waves, so
Oh.
I don't fucking know at all.
Well, let's check out Smiling.
It's a ride, 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 it's a anything. At the night I can hide, I can hide, I can hide almost anything. I'm a ride, 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 I'm told. In the eye, in the eye, in the eye, in the eye, in the eye of the storm.
I'm really digging this.
JD's bopping over here.
Yeah, I like this cover too. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. Wait, can you see my Bandcamp page now? What are we?
Yeah,
what
I
are you guys
can.
looking at? All right, cool. I was gonna see
switching
if this
around.
really is a Ripple band or Oh, there's
Hey!
John.
Yeah.
There he is.
What's up, dude? Oh
Yeah.
man.
I gotta look this up.
Smiling.
It says Ripple Music on the top. Is this really a Ripple band?
I don't know.
All right. Well,
This is really good. I
so-
like this a lot.
So it's definitely catchier than almost anything.
It's kind of garagey. It's like a garagey kind of rock, like pop sort of. I don't know how you describe it.
Yeah. What's your sort of regular listening? What's
Yeah,
what's your go-to?
I'm pretty heavy in the like doom stoner psych world. I mean, well,
Okay.
Yeah. Doom.
There you go. There you go.
you know, it's a lot of Monolord, a lot of Chemist, fucking King Buffalo, pretty much
Yeah.
nonstop lately.
They should change their
Yeah.
name to fucking King Buffalo.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
right?
That's pretty much how everybody says it.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of like I like kind of prog leaning stuff. You know, I'm a huge Tool fan. You know,
Yeah.
that twiddly shit like Scale to Summit, I fucking love.
All right. So
Yeah.
maybe we were related in a different life.
Yeah. But you know, for me, you know, like, you know, down-tuned guitars
Yeah.
are the music that I listen to.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. I saw Scale the Summit because they toured with Intronaut once.
Dude,
And
I saw that tour when they
Dude.
were with North.
Yeah.
That's one of the best goddamn tours I've ever seen.
It was great. And then I was bummed to find out that there's like lots of drama with the dude from Scale to Summit, and he's real. All his other band members are like hired, and he's real shitty to them, and
Oh, really?
that sort
Oh.
of colored the experience a little bit.
Interesting.
I just remember I was standing there with the Rigs of Doom sweatshirt on, and somebody walked up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder and then went, "Rigs of Doom, I know that guy." And I was like, "Cool, hey, yeah, who are you?" And he's all, "Hey, I'm Sasha." And I was all, "Oh, hey, Sasha, how's it going?" I'm Jeff.
Yeah.
That was before the guitars took off.
Correct.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
like when him and Dave were playing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I don't even know if they were playing them on that tour. Maybe they were.
They were, yeah.
Yeah. They probably were. But yeah, it was very early on in the world of Dunnable. We got Sasha coming up actually. Sasha
Oh,
and
sweet.
Jay from JML Guitars are. So Jay's doing a series of hand built Dunnables. So Sasha gave him body wings. And then he did all
Doing the
the
neck
like
through
the
stuff.
neck through construction and the tops and all the sanding and carving and the fretboards and stuff. And
That's
then he's
fucking
sending them back to Sasha for finishing and electronics.
It's
And
crazy.
I'm definitely gonna buy one of them. And I don't know. He's doing like 10. And I don't know which one. All of them. I'm lusting after every single one. But
Yeah.
we're gonna after Psycho. We're gonna have them on when the guitars are like close to being available because they're.
Yeah.
I mean. They're
I'm so
incredible.
stoked for Sasha and how well this is like taking off for him because I mean those guitars are just so sick.
Yeah, and
Had the right thing at the right time, you know. Like so many people were pissed at Gibson and
oh god,
and like you know it's like, hey, cool. Did you get a $5,000 custom shop guitar and you're a fucking artist and it sucks? Like, you're, like you know, like goddamn.
here's a handmade guitar that's better for half the price.
Yeah.
Right?
How you like them apples?
Insane.
So what do you play? What did you grow up playing?
So my mom was a music teacher, and
Clarinet.
Michelle
I played the clarinet in 6th and 7th grade.
All right.
Well, I played it in 6th. I left band in 7th.
Oh, reeds.
But yeah, my mom was a music teacher, and I was mostly a vocalist. You know, like super classically trained choir fucking nerd kind of thing. But I also like I did band stuff and did like saxophone and percussion in band, and I played guitar a lot and I played bass, and I mean there was a time when like I could really just pick anything up and play it. Those days are long gone. You know, I just never really found that click with anybody to do band stuff with.
Yeah, that's tough sometimes.
You know, and like even people I was good friends with, you know, I'd be like having that like classic background and like the practice like till you're fucking hurt. And like you'd show up and like all anybody wanted to do was like talk about chicks and smoke weed and like, you're like,
no.
like
I've
I've been
never-
here for 4 fucking hours and we haven't done anything.
I've never seen that at a band practice before. That's really unusual. It's really unusual.
California must be real different than the Midwest.
No, I see it all the time.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, so many times, like, I'd talk to, you know, I'd like get to know people and like hang out with them and, you know, meet them at parties or hang out with them like in the dorm or whatever. And then you'd go to some practice space or somebody's basement, and then like you'd just be sitting around for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And like, and I just like did that over and over and over again. And part of the problem I have too is like, you know, the way I was trained and the way that we did things is like, it's always been more about performance for me than like songwriting. So I was never really a good songwriter. And it just, you know, you just finally get to a point where you're older and tired and lazy and
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like me and making beer.
Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah.
Like I'll
Done cleaning shit.
I'll haul my heavy ass cabinets around in and out of cars all day, but like fuck scrubbing a stainless steel pot.
I'll build a whole brewery, but I'm not restringing a fucking guitar.
Yeah.
You know, like goddamn.
Oh, that's funny. All right, should we
Let's listen to a little more.
Yeah, I
of
think
this.
this-
I want to hear
I
some
think
more.
this is
I'm
good,
really liking
man.
this.
Yeah.
Sorry, smiling. Here we go. We'll just pick back up where we were.
I'm really digging this. I like it.
Yeah, so this is a great example of they're not doing anything unique or special or different in any of the individual pieces of what's happening in that song, but somehow the sum of it all makes
It all
really,
works together.
makes a really good song.
Yeah.
Like no one part is like
Completely.
whoa, but all of it together is really good.
I really like that bass line. It's like super kind of like spy huntery. Like it's very spy movie.
I mean,
like,
if you know your shapes on bass, that's like the first bass line. Like I could make 50 songs out of that.
Well, do it because I love it.
Reorganize those 3 notes into 50 different songs, but it doesn't matter because that's my point. Because it
Doesn't matter. It's
sounds
catchy.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah, I like
great.
this where they started stacking the vocals on this too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're always going to catch my attention having been in the studio, recorded vocals, recorded harmonies, tried to sing harmonies. Like, it's not trivial to do that. Even in a studio, it's not trivial
No,
to like
hard.
actually record it and have it sound good. Now, if we go and see them live and they do it live too, then you get even more points.
Exactly.
Yeah, way more points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out what the correlation with Ripple is on
They
this one.
must be. I bet you they're on Rogue Wave, but I don't know.
It says Rebel Waves.
It's the SoundCloud. Just
Wait, isn't Rogue Wave a band?
no. Rogue Wave Records is
Oh.
It's a Star Wars movie.
Rogue.
Rogue One. All right, we're getting there.
It
Rogue
is.
Wave.
I have
All right,
Star
all right,
Wars. I know.
What's next?
Lucifer Star Machine.
Lucifer Star Machine.
I think
okay.
this one actually came in like via Instagram Messenger or something like that.
I mean, this sounds like exactly the kind of thing that I listen to.
Yeah.
Lucifer Star Machine.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Sounds
artwork
pretty.
is kind of cool.
All right, so
Actually, that artwork is really cool. I like that. Well, sorry, nobody else can see it yet, but
Oh,
it's like a bat gorilla.
oh, whoa.
that's cool. I don't know what that is.
I don't know why he has a Band-Aid on his nose, but not on
Got in
the
a fight.
giant scar on
It's
his
a
cheek.
fight.
Like the Band-Aid goes over here, buddy.
Yeah. It's got a trident.
The devil's breath. Ooh, I can smell that.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
what song do they want us to listen to?
I don't know. Baby, When You Cry.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Baby.
there it is. It's right there.
Baby, When You Cry.
All right, so I don't know what to. I mean, that's the title, the song name, the art.
Should we look at them and then get?
oh shit!
I love it.
See, now I'm worried.
Yeah, me too.
I ran into these guys at a Bad Religion show. They all tried to stab me with a short knife
That was at a
or a helicopter.
I don't know.
You guys think the guy in the
Social
middle is
distortion?
the vocalist or not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
know.
Is that a ghost?
Sorry,
Town
not Bad
patch?
Religion. Social Distortion.
It looks like the Ghost Town logo.
That is a Ghost Town Brewing patch. Holy shit! In the middle of his vest.
There's no
Holy
way.
shit.
And he's got a Poison Idea
Poison
patch.
Idea.
Gigi
man.
Yeah,
Allen.
I mean,
maybe
he's
we
got some
should
good
listen to it and
patches.
Just dissect the patches.
Does
Yeah,
it
let's
say
just
cat?
dissect the patches.
Does it
We're
say
not going to listen to the
cat?
music. Let's just look at their patch
Or-
game.
What is this? So here's like a metal and heavy music subculture that I never got into, but
Yeah, me
then got a
neither.
quick schooling on when we were at Psycho was fucking Turbo Negro.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Like there was like a gang of people at Psycho.
they're a cult.
They're literally like a cult or a gang, and they were only there for whatever Turbo Negro related
Yeah.
shit was going down at Psycho. But yeah, I mean, all right. Well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Well, they're in
Okay.
Germany, I think. So
Okay,
we're good.
you can fly to California. And
It definitely has
stab
that like
me.
punk rockabilly.
Oh yeah.
Sort of the tough. They're the tough rockabilly.
All right.
Yeah,
They're not.
yeah.
They don't do the swing dancing
Yeah, I'm gonna cross my arms like this and listen.
Anymore. They don't do this
Anymore.
anymore.
That's because they were all. Never mind.
All right. Here we go. Sing ball and chain.
All right. It's not terrible. What are the vocals gonna do?
Yeah.
Now is the time. Stand up and fight. Too much to take 'cause you've been bullied all your life. Got beaten down every time. This beast will rise 'cause it has been brutalized. Feel the heat, you're angry and afraid. Feel the heat, your pain will never fade. Feel the heat, you're gonna make it pay.
I think
I don't
it
hate
sounds
it.
like what I thought it would sound like after
Yeah.
I saw the photo.
100%.
But not before I saw their photo. Like when I saw the album cover, I didn't expect that.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But this is exactly
It
what it
looks
sounds like.
exactly. That is what this music sounds like.
Like,
You guys-
I also think it should be like meaner.
Yeah,
Just
you
a
think
little
so?
bit.
Because
Just a little bit.
It's a little pretty. Yeah, the vocals are a little smooth.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
production's
Yeah.
a little polished and tight.
Yeah,
And I want it to
it
be gritty and fucking mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, like, I would listen to the shit out of this when I was like in my early 20s, probably.
Yeah, not me.
No,
I won't.
would've-
I
mean,
won't say much because I won't say anything.
It's I can hear so many influences in there. I mean, you definitely got the Social D. You've
Like,
got
I want the
you got-
production on this to sound like the first Bronx record. Like that.
yeah,
it
yeah,
makes it better.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, you've got even like early like AFI in there. The singer
For sure.
kind of sounds like the Michael Graves Misfits era
Yeah.
in a way.
It's all going over my head. It's like, can we? Is there?
You did not do the punk and rockabilly thing.
No. No, I went when I was in school in LA. I went to a show, like a big festival, all-day festival show at Star Theater. Maybe it was like 1,000-cap venue in LA, and Social Distortion was one of the bands playing. And just sitting through their set and watching all of their asshole fans turn me off. Turn me off to them and that like entire fucking world of and then so the first time I saw Swingers and you meet Sue and you go, that's just like the quintessential Social Distortion fan. That fucking posery chest puffing, inadequate asshole who wants to fight. I'm gonna
It
get
wants to fight
somebody's
everybody.
gonna
Somebody's
kick my
gonna
ass.
kick your ass.
It's okay.
Yeah, like there's a couple of those Social Distortion records that I just love, and
Oh,
like,
I was the biggest
know,
fan.
I was in it, right? And then
Mhm.
like I'd never seen them live, because like when it was hot and I would have been into it, they never toured through here, and then when they started doing big tours and stuff again, like whatever 8 or 9 years ago, and like start rolling through like every 2.5 years or whatever, I just will not go to the shows.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, God damn, man. Like,
I I just walked into the bathroom and there were two dudes in cuff jeans and wife beaters with like little stab wounds like at the sink cleaning themselves up, and I was like, seriously?
Really?
Fuck you guys. Like it's
Yeah.
not 1958 or whatever. I don't know.
Did. I went down a deep social D rabbit hole back in the day. I even had a black pompadour.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, I've seen pictures of that actually. No, I know this.
Although I never went with like the rolled up sleeves and the giant cuffed jeans.
Now, if this band was from Japan, I would love them.
Yeah. Oh, I don't hate them. I like them.
Because there's something about this like appropriation of other music cultures in different countries that's like, for me, annoying when it's Germany or Sweden, but
Japan,
but fucking
good to go.
incredible when it's Japan or the Philippines or Indonesia or something like that.
Have you ever seen that shit in Japan where they have the like twist contests like in the public park and
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
dressed up like Elvis?
Oh, it's the best.
Oh yeah. Or like
God,
or
you're
the
just
like
fuck,
Cholo-
I'm missing out.
Indonesian cholos. That's maybe my favorite. It was like, where did that come from? That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You know,
Holy shit.
I grew up, in San Jose, surrounded by cholos. Like it's hilarious to see other people
doing it.
attempt that, and to imagine what their reception would be if they wandered into like Story and King in East San Jose, dressed up like in a costume, and like ran into a pack of real cholos, and we're like, oh shit, it's about.
Do you think the real cholos would be like, that's cultural appropriation?
No, I think they would love them.
Oh,
I think they
actually,
would.
they
I
probably
think
would.
they would think it was awesome.
Probably, right?
Yeah, that's what I
It'd be a
think.
shoulder shrug and
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
hit the block party, right?
exactly.
All
The
right.
next song is it's Prem Rock.
Oh, is this Bandcamp pick?
This is the Bandcamp pick.
All right. What do we got? What journey are we going to go on here?
So it's basically he's a rapper.
Okay.
He's grappling with getting older.
Oh shit.
No.
This is actually one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite subjects. Actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. No, it's basically like him. This is his record that he released after sort of like doing, bands in his younger years.
Okay.
Sort of like realized that all the shit that he was doing was really dumb, and he was making a lot of bad choices. And then he grew up, went through all of these things, and then now he's writing a record as like a experienced older man. Talking about a lot of the just stupid shit he does when he was younger.
So was he in hip hop?
Yeah.
So the bands are all hip hop.
They're all hip hop.
Where's he
gosh.
from?
What?
Sam's gotta put
He's
his
from New
readers
York.
Yeah, I gotta put my readers on so I can
Hold
see
on.
what she's
Yeah.
smoking. You
Yeah.
know that again? What the hell? What is that?
I don't know what that is.
I think it's
Is it a
like a
it's
Coke
like
spoon.
a pie cutter?
I don't.
Does he eat desserts?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh shit. There we go.
I don't know what's going on. She's smoking something.
Yeah. So I think especially in his genre, like part of this talks about where,
Whoa.
he focused so much on making
I
great
don't know.
albums back in the day. And now like the new world of rap and hip hop is like, you don't make an album,
No,
you make a single,
You make singles.
you release a song, and then you
yeah.
maybe can build a career off of that one song.
It's so terrible.
Yeah, and you make an album that's got 50 tracks so that you can get maximum streams.
Yeah. So the song I think we are going to play is called Remorse.
Okay. All right. My ears are open. Let's see what we got here.
Is your heart open,
My
Jeff?
heart is open. Good music is good music.
Remorse is just a stone's throw away. 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 The type of silence, gotta see it to believe it. The ride of violence left in eyelids of the secret. Behind the vibrance tucked on the inside, try and peep it. The line grief, combine a hybrid, a rhyme and reason. A stable mind is fleeing. Stabilize the freedoms, the vacant line is leaning. Now sign a lease involving two will lean with proper time and treatment. Oh, if I only had a dime for every time I need it now. Pinpoint the map to where the blind is leading.
I'm super into that.
You like that?
I like
That's
that
cool.
production a lot.
Yeah, I like the tracks and the production a lot. The raps are like fine, but waiting for them to open up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of how I like it.
Laid back.
I think that's the only kind of
Well,
like
it's got that
yeah.
like trip hop, like Massive Attack, tricky
yeah,
kind of feel to it.
yeah, exactly.
Where it's all like lo-fi, gritty, Wu-Tangy.
yeah, completely.
Yeah, I just like this idea of, I mean, I've talked about this before, but like, you know, we've all grown up in rock and roll when it was already like well established, and the shine of the rebel nature of rock and roll was gone. You know, I remember when the Rolling Stones announced the Steel Wheels tour when I was in high school, and it's like, really, another tour?
Yeah,
and,
right.
and it's what, 35 years later, and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
But like these, you know, the rap that came out when I was a kid, those guys thought they were invincible, and they thought they were always going to be cool as shit and underground and, you know, doing something daring and unique. And they never expected somebody to come up underneath them, like we saw in rock, like punk rock did, and kind of go like, "Hey, old man, your old shit is dumb, and we're doing new shit that's not dumb."
Yeah.
And
That
it
shit
caught
we
all
put out 8 months ago is weak.
yeah. And it caught all these guys by surprise to suddenly be like not relevant, to be like not cool, cutting edge, vanguard kind of musicians, but to be like usurped by the younger crowd. They didn't watch music history to see that it was inevitable that like Run DMC wasn't going to be bleeding edge for their entire career. You know, that rap would become totally mainstream. So it's interesting to see somebody like kind of grow up and grapple with that a little bit.
With that, yeah, exactly. I really like this.
It's good music.
Yeah.
When's the guitar solo?
2:38. The song's only 2:23, so I guess that would be about
138.
1:38.
138. I would
There's
like
another Misfits reference. Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh god, that was I won't even say it out loud. But that was one of the songs I wanted to play for an episode that we were going to record last weekend, but didn't end up recording.
Oh, really?
With certain people.
Yeah.
After the balloons that my child purchased.
Yes.
I wanted to see if they could figure out what that was about. Long story. But no, I mean, it sounds good. I don't know anything about this guy, but
I don't listen to a lot of hip hop anymore. You know, I used to, you know, in the 90s and stuff, I listened to it all the time. And then I just went so far into guitar stuff that I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
You know, I think when you like, especially like, I think this is so much like heavy music, you know, like when you lose track of like the underground and like what's happening like on a lower level, like you just lose everything.
Yeah.
And when I kind of lost track of what was going on with like underground hip hop, you know, it's kind of like when the Roots started like blowing up and being more mainstream, and you know, that kind of stuff started really hitting and being like, you know, easier to find. Like that's kind of when I lost track of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. It was funny. We were listening. I jumped in the car the other day, and my wife was listening to the pre-Fergie Black Eyed Peas.
Oh,
like the good Black Eyed Peas.
Huh.
You know?
I didn't know that existed.
They used to be really good, actually. Yeah.
Did they do
I remember hearing those first Fergie songs on the radio and just being like,
what happened to Black Eyed Peas?
So did they did a reverse Pantera too?
They did a reverse Pantera as well. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're making a lot of money, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like, the only hip hop stuff I really listen to anymore, like I still listen to all the Beastie Boys stuff. Like I'll pull that out and get on it. All that old DMC stuff, like Dead Prez, like I love that shit. And there's like that element of like danger that you need to have. You know?
So I discovered that still exists because I have a nephew who's 19, who's deep in the underground, and it's coming out in the form of like a mix of industrial and hardcore mashed up with hip hop artists like Horror and Ghostmane, and
I've learned that I think they call it sludge.
Yeah, they call it like sludge rap. Yeah,
sludge rap.
So look up like because this will light you up because it has that, it's got the danger, that like fucking scary danger. A horror show is kind of like a prime Dillinger Escape Plan show. Except with two guys
rapping.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. So
like what happens when like rappers start sampling Dillinger Escape Plan? Like what's that?
I wonder if it's ever happened.
Holy shit.
I mean, this is the world we're in, though. Like,
Yeah, like everybody's just sampling old Sepultura records. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm fucking in.
Well, and I remember seeing somewhere along the way, what's the fucking crazy famous dude who play? He's a rapper and he played
Dave.
No, not Dave Davidson.
Dave.
That's
Dave.
That's Revocation. Totally different. No, he did the Nirvana covers live.
Post Malone.
Post
Malone. Oh,
So
okay,
when
yeah.
Nate from Spirit Adrift is like, "Hey, I met Post Malone at a party and he's cool as hell and he's really into Spirit Adrift," and you started seeing these like crossovers between some
like
of the
on Instagram, like you'd be like, "What the fuck is happening?"
exactly. Well, and then Spirit Adrift played a few shows and there were a couple of underground hip hop acts that opened for them.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like, okay, you know, this and really just for me, live music in any form mixed with rap, I love. Whether it's super funky or if it goes into like a heavy zone. Either way, I'm down. Just not the like peak mania rap rock nonsense.
No.
Nope.
Someone I hadn't thought about Kid Rock in a long time, and for some reason Kid Rock came up the other day. Oh, again,
Because he was being dumb in Nashville.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It wasn't that. It was actually
or pick a place he was.
Everywhere.
He was being dumb in a location.
No, I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about Joe Dirt, and it reminded me that Kid Rock is in Joe Dirt.
He is?
He's like the bad guy.
Oh.
He's like
What?
he's like one of the heavies in Joe
Really?
Dirt. Yes.
I could watch that.
Yeah.
And it was like a big deal. It was like one of their big promotional things for the movie was we got Kid Rock in this movie. It's like, oh, fuck, man, so terrible. And then someone, we got a pee break over here.
Oh man!
And then somebody pointed out that in the like 2010 to 2020, Kid Rock was one of the top selling music artists for the decade for physical media because he refused to release anything on streaming.
Oh yeah.
And he was making all these country records, and people were buying them like crazy. So.
Just like Aaron Lewis.
Ugh. I won't say anything.
You want to talk about that?
No, I don't want to talk.
I don't either.
Ugh, that was a dark time when the radio was Stained and
Bow It to Ball all day.
Creed and oh man, it was. I don't know how we escaped that honestly, but
I really don't either. So what was funny was when Creed first came out, our local butt rock station was fucking about it, and they had some contest where like Creed did this nationwide, and they tabulated it by how many people called and requested like My Own Prison or something. And then whoever won, they like came and played a show, and out of every radio fucking station in the country, Lincoln, Nebraska won.
Oh
What?
no!
I don't remember that.
And Creed came and played here at Pershing Auditorium.
Did you go?
No, I didn't go. Yeah, I went twice, but yeah. So like, yeah, Creed fucking blew up. Everybody in Lincoln loved him so much that they called the radio station so much that they came and played a show here just because we called the radio station so many times.
Your own private hell in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh my God,
a special
dude.
Creed show. Oh, you missed
Oh shit! Really?
You missed a lot.
I didn't even know that happened.
It was, yeah,
I've
and like,
never left this town. My
you know,
entire
I was still working in the gas station, and all the dudes I worked in the kitchen with were like about it, you know, like they were like,
This
it was
shit is
like,
incredible.
Like the heaviest shit those guys were listening to then was like Coal Chamber, and like they'd be like, "Dude, did you hear that Coal Chamber record?" And I'd be like, Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Listen to that one song. And like, yeah, just on the phone, calling the radio station, got Creed to come play.
What was peak Creed? Like 2003 or something? I feel like
two, maybe one. And I mean, what sucks is like fucking Mark Tremonti is like such a smoking guitar player. And then you're just like, God, why is he in this goddamn band?
Well, he definitely distanced himself. And, you know, I don't like Alter Bridge, but it's a far cry from Creed.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never even listened because I didn't.
What it says is like Creed was not Mark Tremonti.
Yeah.
He was just playing. He's just playing
He was
guitar.
doing his job.
Yeah.
that Miles Kennedy dude that's in Alter Bridge with him
yeah.
just played here like week and a half ago. We were in Denver, or I would have gone to the show, because it's just like I don't really dig what he does, but like the guy's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Isn't he the one that also toured with Slash?
Yeah,
Like, he and
does.
Slash had a band, right?
Yeah, he's got like some solo stuff, and he tours with Slash.
Yeah.
And there's somebody else that he plays with that's like Slash kind of thing too.
Yeah. He is really good.
The
Talented
guy's
dude.
just so good, and I was like, man, I really want to go. I'd pay $20 to go, like, especially when you haven't gone to any shows for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, when it's been a while.
I'll pay anything.
Fuck it, I'll go to Creed. Like, yeah, shows, you know.
Have you been to any shows yet? Since
Just-
I mean,
Just one. 2 weeks ago, you didn't go, did you?
No.
No, our buddies, High Ruler played down at a local bar here, and that's the only show I've been to. There were a couple other things that we were gonna go to, but we were just out of town and just couldn't go.
Yeah.
yeah, they're just starting to come back here. I mean, I don't know. Well, this will be an interesting test. Did you guys come across the footage of that crazy hardcore show that happened in a parking lot in San Jose? The Gulch and
So many bands played in it.
yeah, it was.
Oh.
Drain, Gulch, Drain.
And then what's the one that's really blowing up? It's like a Japanese word.
Sumac.
What,
No, it's not Sumac.
whatever it was, like 2,000 fucking crazy hardcore kids showed up to some like storage unit and went ape
Oh,
shit
I
in
did
San Jose.
see. I saw like this much of that, and
It was
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was right here
Yeah.
in the heart of Silicon Valley.
A matter of miles away.
Like, 10 feet from the Google
like,
campus.
oh, we still have a
and
hardcore scene here?
We do.
We did that day.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just finally starting to see shows, getting booking requests. We just booked our first show for, since the beginning of the pandemic, and Trevor from Hunt hit us up, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm getting the new lineup like kind of tooled up to do a European tour and to do all the festivals that we have booked. We haven't played any live shows yet, so I want to book 2 shows in California and just kind of put them through their
do it.
paces. Like,
Practice.
I don't care where they are. The smaller, the better. Like,
Yeah.
so Haunt is playing a free show at a bar in San Jose that holds a max of 90 people. 90 people.
That.
And has no stage. And it's going to be fucking bonkers
That's awesome.
in September. And then we have tickets to see King Buffalo in San Francisco.
Man.
And, there's stuff coming. But nothing here yet. So...
Yeah, I think the thing that drives me the most nuts after the pandemic is I don't remember what the last show I went to before the pandemic was.
Yeah.
And I remember the last show I was going to go to. Intronaut was on that tour with
Oh yeah, when Joe hurt himself or like got sick or something. So
Joe
had to
got
play
sick
without him.
and God, was it Cult of Luna maybe?
I think so. I think
That
it was
sound
called
right?
Cult of Luna and
Yeah,
Intronaut.
I was gonna go down and see those guys in Lawrence, and I'm pretty sure that we had COVID early on.
Yeah.
And when we were sick, they were still like having a fever was like the big thing,
Yeah.
and we never had fevers. But then later, like, they talk about that like brain fog.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we've never been sick at the same time. I mean, we've been together for 700 years. And we've never been sick at the same time before. And we were just both like fucking dead.
Wrecked.
Crazy.
And I was just like, oh man, I was like, I want to go see Intronaut so bad because it's going to be the last show I can see for who knows how long.
Yeah.
And then I was so sick, I was like, I can't drive 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah. No, our last shows were very memorable because we were at them together, and it was Tool, Mr. Bungle, and then we played a show with Year of the Cobra,
Yeah.
and that
Fuck.
and
That
that
makes
was
sense.
and
Those
that
are
was
good ones.
and it was right. That Year of the Cobra show was at the end of February, and like we were shut down here by March 13th, so it was it moved fast in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, going and seeing Tool at the end of it was probably pretty good.
It
was
was
amazing.
fucking incredible. It was
They
great.
was
played
so
here. It would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a huge Tool fan. The thing with Tool that's always ruined me is Tool fans.
Yeah.
'Cause they're
That'll happen.
Yep.
They're tools.
and like you're just like, how don't you get it? Fuck. But like when they played here like 2 years ago, I hadn't seen them for a long time. And God, man, just sitting down, and the second they came out, and you're just like, okay. And I turned to her and I was like, I'm apologizing to Danny Carey to you right now. Because like he's the best ever, and I forgot, you know.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Like,
I'm sorry, Danny.
and you know, it was 10 seconds into it, and you were just like, holy shit, like this is the best thing that we have going in the whole country right now. And just, it's just so mind melting.
Oh, I've watched that Numa drum cam video.
Oh my God.
Probably 40
So many times.
40 times.
So we have a beer. We did a beer called Numa because like
Really?
the second that record came out, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, this is it. And oh man, yeah, that show just melted my mind when they played here.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, they were great. I hadn't seen them it'd been a long time. I mean, since the 90s.
Hey, look, I got stuff too.
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
Look what you got. All right, so
Why don't you go first?
yeah, you go first.
Okay, I got all the stuff I've gotten in like the last like month.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Showing off
number
records.
one,
I know that one.
You know, we
So
talked
good.
about these guys earlier. The new Yatwa, the Lurch, fucking
Yeah.
Relapse. This
Is
band
that how you pronounce it? Is it Yatwa?
Yautla.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's an alien. It's an alien thing, right? Because I looked it up.
It's the Predator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Arnold
Nice.
Schwarzenegger fame.
Oh, that album is so good. Those guys are
Dude,
so good.
This fucking band I just don't understand. When I saw them at that Inner Arma show that nobody came to, like
Yeah.
they just melted my goddamn brain.
I bet.
And
Yeah, for sure.
this dude has the shittiest rig you've ever seen.
Oh, of course.
And then the second he plays, you're like, I'm so sorry. I was
Yeah.
judging you.
Yeah.
You know, it's all this old like PV solid state shit and just like Boss DS1s and, you know, and you're just like, whatever. And then
Doesn't
like,
matter.
boom. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, man, tone is in the fingers, man.
God, it really is. That's what Billy Gibbons said. It has to be true.
Yeah.
I know we
Sometimes
talked
it
about
is.
this one on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. You know it.
I mean,
Okay.
oh,
dude.
so good.
These guys it's not even fair to the rest of the world how good this band is. Right?
Yeah. I can't wait to hear the other two records because
I
I want
know.
to
Yeah.
like what they're all experiments. Like
Yeah,
in a,
we're gonna release 3 records this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Sure.
I mean, if one of them,
This is why you don't respond to my emails to be on the show.
Right, yeah, right.
Well,
I mean,
Scott.
If one of them's only half as good as this,
Seriously.
Yeah.
it's still the best record that's gonna come out this year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't,
I'm with you.
I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, Scott really wanted pictures of home on the Deep Purple tribute.
Yeah.
And Worshipper had already claimed it,
Oh,
and so he's mad at me.
Handsome Nuri. Oh, that one's so good.
Another
This
great-
record,
And the artwork is amazing.
the artwork's amazing. This band is so fucking sick. This takes me right back to like 2001 when like I think I posted on Instagram. It's like when all you wanted to do was sit around and listen to like Mastodon, High on Fire, and Kylesa.
Yep.
And I was
Yeah.
like, this is that, and
And,
like, but it's
the-
a whole different thing, you know.
Oh, yeah, completely.
It's just so good, and like those vocal harmonies they're doing on this are just
Yeah.
are so. Did you guys watch that St. Vitus stream?
Yes.
Yes. It was so good.
Yeah, they're great.
It's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
And they were so-
we were trying to do a show with these guys in spotlights before Decibel.
Oh,
And, like,
man.
We just ended up not being able to pull it off just with timing. We just got in too late. We were trying to do a show at Kung Fu Necktie with it, and it just got booked before we could like confirm that we could have beer at the show.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, I'm not doing like Cosmic Eye Presents and then like
Yeah.
handing out stickers. Right?
Yeah.
Hey,
That stickers.
Here's a
yeah.
here's a coupon.
Cool. Hey, we've got our Square reader. You can
Yeah.
buy a $20 T-shirt.
Yeah.
I got this one too. Oh man, that new Scale to Summit.
Oh, I haven't listened.
Oh, wow.
I haven't listened to that. Have you ever listened to Scale to Summit?
I
think.
have.
Oh, you have.
Yeah,
Do you,
yeah.
You
They're
don't.
good.
I assumed you would hate them.
No, I like them.
It's so many notes.
It's a lot of notes.
So
It's-
many
you
notes.
know.
It's all the notes all at once.
So this record's they did a full instrumental version of it, and then they have guest vocalists.
Oh, cool.
So
That's
there's-
fun.
Oh,
There's
wow.
2 versions of it, and one of them's like full of guest vocals, and then the other one's just a full-on instrumental.
Oh, I want to. I'll
That's
check.
cool.
I'll check it out. I can get
And
over it.
they're-
I'll enjoy listening.
And they're both awesome. I made sure to listen to the vocals first, just because, you know, like, you don't want to learn the new record.
Yep.
And you like, fuck these vocals.
Yeah.
So I was like, I listened to the vocals for about a week before I switched over to the instrumental version, and they're both so good.
That's awesome.
Chris Latchford is, you know, I know there's he might be a dick stuff going around, right? Like,
But he's incredible.
Rumor
but
has it.
like, he's just got that, like, because it's not just about the like technical shit, like it's about the songwriting,
Yeah.
and he's so good at lining all that shit up.
Yeah.
Because the songs are good, the shredding is just unfucking deniable. I mean, when you see those guys live, I just can't even. What's he doing?
Yeah. Well, my favorite was the merch table at that Intronaut and Scale the Summit show is hilarious because
Like
it's
tab books.
tab books, instructional videos, like the nerdiest. Because I mean, all those guys. Joe Lester is Joe Lester might be the best musician in that whole crew. He's fucking incredible. It's like
Yeah.
And yeah, he had like my bass theory book and
My
the
bass theory.
tablature for all of our songs. And I mean, he's the guy who fills in bass for Secret Chiefs 3 when they need a bass player and Trevor can't play.
Yep.
So he's just like he's nuts.
And then
His
I'm
tongue is eating me.
going to show you the last thing I got. I got the
Okay.
Monolord represses.
Oh, nice.
I missed these when they came out, so I got the Empress Rising and the Rust.
Nice. That's
you
awesome.
get-
Those are great albums.
You get those emails. We play so much Monolord in the brewery.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Oh, probably the most played.
Probably more than any other band
Probably.
we play. It's
And
like
I'm-
Yeah.
I mean this
Monolord
in
and Chemist.
Mm.
oh
Nice,
yeah. I mean
yeah.
this in a good way, but Monolord is like good background music
Yeah.
for stoner or doom
Oh.
because it doesn't have a lot of peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
So like in a brewery setting, you don't have that moment where people are talking and they're like, what was that? Like it's very constant.
And we try to that's kind of the vibe we go
Yeah.
for with the music we push, you know, like we're kind of trying to find that.
kind of shit.
Yeah, like we play Bong. We play Bong Ripper all the fucking time,
Nice.
Yeah.
and nobody cares.
No.
Yeah.
No,
We had
it's like
We had a
yeah.
guy. It was a Friday night, and like our staff who aren't necessarily like part of the culture, right?
Yeah.
They're just like by
Just working.
association, you know.
Yeah.
Like these are the things we have built into the playlist and whatever at the brewery, but they'll put on fucking Monolord all the time.
Yeah.
And we had some guy, maybe 2 months ago, left us a review and was like,
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
just riff after riff after riff after riff, and I was just like, dude, what the fuck do you think you are,
Yeah.
dude? And then we've got this huge like hair metal 90s playlist that somebody put on apparently while he was still there, and he was like, and then somebody put on the hits and it was amazing, and it was just fuck you.
Oh.
And
just for let us know the next time you're here and we'll put on Dope Smoker.
yeah. Well, I'm like, I think it was like
Or
I think I
followed
waited-
by Mirror Reaper.
Yeah.
Like back
yeah.
to back.
Oh, God. Like, get me out of here. But, like, yeah, I think like the next week we put like our Facebook post and stuff on that Friday was like, we'll be playing Monolord all night just in case you don't want to come in or something.
Yeah.
If you don't like riffs,
Oh.
don't come in.
Well,
Get
no,
the
it's
fuck outta here.
that's the Liquid Death marketing strategy, right? When somebody leaves a comment like "This Satan music is corrupting the youth," how dare you? You just clip that out and
it.
post it on Instagram.
We make
Oh.
T-shirts.
If you don't follow
Yeah.
us, you should go scroll through our feed.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
I will.
I do.
He
And I like all your knife demos too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a knife
So,
dork.
You made
no,
a bunch of t-shirts of bad reviews. Like every bad review, we make a t-shirt out of
Yeah.
it.
That's amazing.
That's
It's
funny.
so good.
So, yeah. Yeah.
That's a good pile. What do you have?
What do I have? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
What does
I got
JD
some
have?
old stuff.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
So I got my this is Girls Against Boys,
Oh
GDSB.
man. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that. Yeah, yeah.
Old school shit. Like this is speaking of spy music, This is
Yeah.
spy music. It's like it's basically this was their first record. But they, God, I've been the biggest fan for so long. Just a black vinyl.
I got to see
But,
those guys on Lollapalooza like 95 or
Yeah.
6. They were on the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
stage. And I
Yeah.
was so stoked, and like nobody else there could give a shit.
No.
You
Yeah,
know?
they God, but their music is so good. It's like just, and especially some of their later albums, got oh God, I can't remember what it was called. But anyways, one of their
It's that COVID
it was
fog.
it is
Right,
it probably
yeah,
is.
right.
No, but it was it's like this. It's like it sounds like it could be a spy, like a soundtrack to a sexy spy movie. Like it is just like it's the music that they put on when James Bond and the Bond girl are doing their thing.
Getting ready to bone.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then I had to pick up this. Jeff and I went to the record store the other day, and they've repressed.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. So had to
that
get
PMA.
this. Had to get this. Yep. Exactly. Got that PMA.
yeah.
So I was at the Lawrence show when HR got arrested in like
Oh, really?
5 or 6 or whatever it was. Dude, that shit was fucking nuts, man. Like he was doing like solo tour, and it was at Bottleneck, and like you could tell something was gonna happen. Like there were so many fucking cops there.
Yeah.
There were so many cops there. And then like he got off stage and they just hauled him away.
Oh man. Well, at least
And
they
it
let
was
him
like,
play.
What the fuck? And then it was still when everything came slow, and like you had no idea what was going on. And then it's like, years later and you're like, oh, this was really fucked up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I felt bad for the guy, and then you were like, oh,
Maybe not so much.
got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most cops I've ever seen anywhere in Lawrence, Kansas.
Really?
Oh,
my
God, dude.
Wow.
Because they just didn't give a fuck down there. Like,
Yeah.
if you were in college, like, the university was like 40,000+ with undergrad and graduate, and like the town was like 65,000 people at the time.
That's
And
crazy.
so like, the cops were cool as shit to you. Like, hey, did you murder anybody? And you're like, no, I just have weed and I'm driving drunk, and they'd be like, all right, cool, man. Have fun at school.
Yeah.
Um,
So nobody from Kansas stabbed me in the eye, but is Kansas or Kansas State in Lawrence?
Kansas State is in Manhattan,
Okay.
and that's a whole nother world.
Okay.
I can imagine.
God bless them.
God bless them.
God bless them.
Good kids down there. What you got, Jeff?
What do I got? All right, I got my my monthly care package from Buddy at Glory or Death with the new releases. So this is a band from Portland called Kvasir. That's just a real classic kind of classic rock influenced stoner band.
Yeah.
That this album's blown up. That did really well on the Doom charts on the last release, I believe.
Sweet.
Nice little. We pressed
Oh.
these. We pressed these at Gotta Groove, and one of the options to keep them cheap is they do random color pressings. It's how they use up
just what we got. Yeah.
what they have, and so you
way to
can
do it.
it's cheaper than pressing black records, and
Yeah.
we don't even know when we open them up. Every record's different. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's kind
That's
of
$5
fun.
more a record, dude.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprise!
It's the random surprise variant.
Yeah.
Don't open it.
But this is funny. This one I'll turn around and sell for like $100. Just kidding. This is a test pressing because we don't have the real records yet of the King Gizzard record that we're putting out. Teenage Gizzard,
Killer.
which is like all the stuff that they recorded when they were young, kind of right as they were becoming.
Yeah,
so that, like
yeah.
you can kind of like feel the origins of the band and see how they got to where they are now, and it's pretty rad.
Are you guys in the big sleep group on Facebook?
I'm in. I think so. I think I'm in one of them.
Dude, when King Gizzard's last record came out and it was all like doomy and shit, like
Yeah.
people were fucking losing their minds in that group. They were like, "Holy shit, I hate this band, but this is so awesome."
This is so awesome.
Well, they did the same thing to all the thrash fans like
Yeah,
2 years
yeah,
ago
like-
because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you put out 90 records in 2 years and you're gonna hit something.
And then they just put out like a super pop record,
Did they?
Butterfly 3000 or something
Piss some
like
people
that.
off.
Because they can. Why not? That's
Yeah,
what
why wouldn't you?
That's what.
Right?
Dudes all live like on the same street. I think Stu's got a studio in his house. They just
Yeah.
they just live it 24 hours a day, and they got nothing better to do. So why not?
Well, why not?
I love all the microtonal records. So
Yeah.
like all week I've been blasting LW, the latest one, and it's just so interesting to like attune your ear to hearing those notes, because when you first listen to it, you're like, oh, that's wrong, because we just don't have that kind of spacing between our notes. So you just think like, oh, that sounds out of tune.
It
But
sounds
then
wrong.
once it gets repeated enough and your ear gets used to it, you know it's not out of tune, and the keyboard and the guitar's playing the same note. Everybody's playing the same shit. It's just your ear's not used to those frequencies. So it's a fun listen.
Well, it's like listening to stuff that's in odd time signatures, you know,
Yeah.
like if you don't ever listen to any of that stuff, like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then like like the thing I always give to Intronaut so much is like those guys make like odd time groove more than like any band that I can think of.
Yeah.
It's just like laid back in the cut, and it's in like 11/7.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a lot of really fun stuff with time, and it's tricky. Like I remember the first time I heard Fast Worms off of, I forget which.
Yeah.
That's the one that has that like jazz breakdown in the middle. And you're just like, oh, is this is what we're doing now? All right, I'm in.
Somebody like tried to get me to explain Intronaut to him once, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, these are all the guys that were in like jazz band, but were out back like drinking 40s and smoking weed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, that's exactly what they are.
Yeah. That jazz breakdown in Fast Worms it's dumb.
Yeah, the first time I heard it was like,
good.
and he's
Dumb
just like,
dumb in the best possible.
In the best way,
positive
exactly.
way.
It makes you feel dumb.
well,
I said it was dumb when he was on.
he'll get it.
He knows.
Well, and I'm always the guy who's gonna call out the fretless bass in heavy music.
Mhm.
Joe Lester doesn't own a bass with frets, as far as I can tell.
No.
Like everything he plays is fretless, and just like, fuck, man, I know how hard. I mean, I play fretless. I know how hard it is, and fuck, man, he's a warlock.
So the first time I met Joe, I didn't know he was left-handed, and the first time I met him, I was like, fretless and left-handed. like, dude, what?
Yeah, he's gonna die young.
Yeah.
I have a left-handed daughter, and she's deep in all the stats of how much likelier you are to die
Don't
early.
use those right-handed scissors.
Yeah.
I saw this stat once where it was like 1,500 people in the U.S. die every year that are left-handed using right-handed products.
Really?
1,500
God.
fucking people.
What?
Like
Yeah.
how?
Less than
Probably
the
they like
vaccine
slip while
has
they're holding
fucking
something
killed.
and slice their wrist or something. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
What are they doing with it?
I
Just
just
kidding.
can't imagine.
Their
Just-
brain just comes off and they stab themselves in the heart.
Well, because they don't fit right, so you end up having to
Yeah.
like kind of contort yourself into
Yeah.
like her
You have to
biggest
hold it
beef
weird.
is
Hard.
can openers. No one makes a left-handed can
Yeah.
opener. Get your can opener and switch hands and see how you do. You know what I mean, reverse them and see how long it takes you to get that can open.
We just got tattooed by a buddy of ours the other week, and he's out in Denver, and we like sat down and he's like doing everything, and I was like, fuck. I was like, you're left-handed? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I've never got tattooed by a left-handed person before. And he just like looked at me.
Am I
was
going to
like,
be okay?
Am I gonna be
fuck
okay?
you,
Yeah.
dude.
The words are all backwards,
Yeah.
but it's cool.
It's all
You're like,
the
ah, it's okay. I don't judge.
Uh,
Teach their own.
All right, how
Equal opportunity.
how are you guys for time? I know you got kids. You good? We got two more songs. We got two more songs.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a beer.
All right.
Although I would love to ask
I don't
Michelle,
wanna-
do you listen to all the same music?
No, not all the same music for sure.
No.
Not. So I do like I like a lot of Doom too. I like Tool and Alice in Chains and all that kind of stuff. I used to tell people because really my favorite music when we first got together was like a lot of Al Green and
Yeah.
Whitney Houston and things like that. So I said that we came together sort of in the middle at like stoner rock is where we like agreed on things. But I would say at the moment I'm a Doom fan.
Yeah.
Nice.
You just got it crammed down your brain long enough that now you
no.
can't.
Well,
Yeah.
That last
surprised-
Bong Ripper record did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
Those
Yeah, I was
those
like,
three
oh, I
20-minute long songs did it for you.
Yeah, I understand. So
Nice.
yeah.
I
Well-
took my wife to see. We had front row seats to see Al Green for our honeymoon. That was amazing. So
Oh, wow.
amazing.
It would
That's
be.
rad.
Amazing. I've
Al
never
Green.
been to see him, but
Well,
Yeah, when
we've
I
run-
got together with Michelle, she was listening to the Dead President soundtrack.
yeah, a lot.
that's
Dave
Yeah.
Matthews Band.
Yep.
oh god,
This
that
was
wa-
before the Chicago River incident.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, DMV we got to talk about a little bit. So the rest of it's
Down with
okay.
all that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Dave Matthews, though, presented right, could be a gateway to Prague. You know what I mean? Like you could you could off ramp somebody.
Off-ramp.
Those guys are such good
Yeah.
players, man.
What
Yeah.
about Hootie?
Under the table and dreaming a lot still. Like I'll find myself like, oh, we're listening to this all week.
Well, if you're
I do
if you're
too.
craving soulful singers, we've run across some heavy bands that have some incredible.
Oh yeah.
Like Moontooth, if you haven't listened to them yet.
Oh.
I miss those guys when they played in Omaha. Like it was not far before the pandemic. I miss
Yeah.
those dudes,
Yeah.
and I've always been so bummed I missed that show because that band is so.
I can't wait to see
fucking
them
good.
live. They're
yeah,
so good.
yeah. Husbandry. If you're into kind of like angular, noisy, weird shit and weird time changes, and then Karina singing over it with this just like, where did that voice come from?
Yeah,
They're incredible. We've seen a lot more. When I mean, we've talked nonstop about like Zealand Ardor, which is to
yeah.
me
I
such.
never got into those guys.
No?
No.
No, I don't know what it is about them either because I don't dislike it, and I get why people like it, and I just don't listen. I can't listen to it at all.
Yeah, go see them live sometime.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, I didn't see them live first. We've seen them live a few times. It's definitely a certain kind of feeling, though. And if you don't like it, because there's a bit of a formula to the like call and response,
the
and
gospel.
like the song structures and stuff.
Yep.
So I could see how like if you listen to one and you go, it's not really for me. It's a lot more of the same. Although there's a lot of variety in some of the new stuff. And the song that he just put out called "Run." Is a bit of a departure, and I dig it a lot. It's heavier.
Cool.
It's like fucking super heavy. It's really good.
Yeah, and that's a band like I would go see them anytime they came through,
Yeah.
but it
And
just
you would-
never bit, you know.
Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see it, but it's different. It's like kind of off the path a little bit of most of what.
So we got some.
We
Everything
listed.
has eyes.
Oh man,
Is that what we're doing
That's
now?
not what you have. I think you still have the
Post-haze.
sour.
I'm empty.
Okay, now we're going post haze.
I have nothing. All right,
This is really good. I like this one. I
what's
like them all.
next? Looks like we got
Actually,
Lamadan.
I don't know. Let's let you decide. So, should we do the postcard
Oh yeah.
submission, or should we wait and just do this last?
let's do
Let's
the
do-
postcard.
We have two more songs.
'Kay,
Okay. So
Yeah.
then I want you to go to Abyss Looker.
Yeah.
Abyss looker.
What?
That's like a slur, right?
Abyss Looker.
You abyss looker. Don't call me that.
Man eater. I
You're-
hope this is not a cover.
Your mama's an abyss looker. Oh, I would be 100% down for a
If it
cover
was a cover
for
of
a
Man
cover
Eater.
of Maneater right now.
Oh man.
So here, this is a great trivia question. So if you were to grab the cover of any Hall & Oates record, would it say Hall & Oates or would it say Daryl Hall and John Oates?
Oh,
And-
I
and
gotta
what
go
is-
with the
Yeah,
Daryl
probably
Hall and
Daryl
John
Hall
Oates.
John
And
Oates.
what is the official name of the band?
I thought it was Hall & Oates.
No,
Is it not?
it's
gonna
Daryl
go-
Hall and John Oates.
Really?
Everywhere. Yeah, I heard that somewhere the other day. And I was like,
In-
"Fuck, man, we just
in
called
your-
them Hall & Oates."
That's kind of like that Berenstein Bears thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I've got to go with the Daryl Hall and John Oates just because I know that the biggest fan of Daryl Hall is Daryl Hall.
Is Daryl
Is
Hall?
Daryl Hall?
Yeah. Oh, what's that show he does where he
Live from
plays-
Daryl's house,
Daryl.
dude.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
So fucking good.
It really
yeah.
is.
There's some really good episodes of that.
Joe Walsh. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I have to watch
Oh
that
my
one.
god, it's
Nice.
so insane because they're both like in this like super celebrity out of their mind realm, and they like get together, and it's just so insane.
That's crazy.
Like
I'll tell you
where
the other couple that are really good is he did one with CeeLo Green.
I saw that one.
oh really?
Yeah.
Amazing. and I'm gonna lose all my underground heavy metal cred for this one. But the one he did with Jason Mraz is so fucking good.
Really?
Oh my
Nice.
god!
Well, you can tell that guy's a
He's
brilliant,
talented.
brilliant musician,
Yeah, completely.
Jason Mraz.
Yeah.
So
And the
Of course.
dude, like on that Live from Daryl's House, the dude he has, it's like the lead guitar player in all
Yeah.
those is
Yeah.
and the drummer is so fucking good.
yeah, I mean, why would you not just have the very
Yeah.
best people if you
Yeah.
were him?
I'm
Yeah,
Daryl
of course
Hall.
you would. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
New York
I'm
House.
Daryl Hall, motherfucker.
Oh, it's definitely time for one of those like kind of postmodern shows where he's like the lead and the whole conceit is like, I'm Daryl Hall,
Where he
motherfucker.
plays like a really conceited version
Yeah, he
of
plays
himself.
like a dickhead version of himself.
Like, but for real.
Yeah. Or what was that show that was like about Diplo, but some actor
Oh yeah, the
act-
guy from Dawson's Creek was
Creek
Diplo.
plays
Yeah.
Diplo
He plays Diplo.
in a show about Diplo, and he plays like this magnified asshole version of Diplo, which I
I don't
even
know
if
anything
it-
about
I don't
this.
either.
Oh yeah, look,
I can't remember what it's called.
it's
How do we
it's-
not know about a TV show?
I know.
I
Yeah, I
know.
know, right?
Haven't we
Jeez,
watched all
There
of
aren't very
them?
many of those.
Look, as soon as we wrap up here, we're gonna go watch the finale of Loki. So,
Oh, we're only like 3
Yeah.
episodes in.
oh really?
Oh, are you
no.
liking it?
So
I do. I like it. Yeah, some of
I
that
like it.
MCU stuff, like I have trouble with. Like, it just gets a little too Marvel-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You guys-
We went back during the pandemic, like just in the last couple of months. My wife and I went back and watched them all in order, like,
just to get caught up.
just to get caught. Like and there's stuff
a
that I
lot.
forgot about. There's ones that apparently I missed that I didn't even realize I missed.
Yeah.
Right.
It was so great.
Loki's very much a character study, and it's a lot
Yeah.
of two people in a room talking to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
So less dumb fight scenes. So
Yeah,
it's,
right. Yeah.
and like the visual aesthetic is really cool. It freaks me out though because the office of the TVA is a
Yeah.
hotel in Atlanta that I've been to. Like that that elevator section at the top, and then it pans down and you see the rest of it. That's all CG, but the fucking elevators at the top's like the Marriott in downtown Atlanta or something like that. It's really weird.
We have a dog that started snoring behind us.
Oh, I can't hear it at
Nice.
all. You guys are good. Or let's
I
hear
kinda
it.
wanna
'cause
hear
it's
it.
funny.
He's out, dude. Here.
That's awesome.
He's not loud enough.
I like
Alright.
it when the animals make an appearance. So
Alright.
wait, is the
Which is
band?
rare to say when you have pugs.
This-
They're not
okay.
being loud.
Yeah, that's true.
Snuffling loudly. All right, so this band is called Abyss Looker. The album cover is just like a mostly black face
This is like
situation.
terrifying.
Yeah,
It is terrifying.
It is scary.
I'm gonna
shadowy.
go on record right now and I'm gonna say I probably don't like these vocals.
Okay, all right. You know what it makes me think of is what's the band that we discovered early in the pandemic that had like the weird cult backstory? They were like hidden. You just bought records from them from England.
Sleep Token.
Sleep Token.
Sleep Token.
Have you guys ever listened to Sleep
I've
Token?
heard that band. I can't remember what they sound like. though.
Oh my god, I
It's
loved
another one like heavy modern metal, and then this guy with it sounds like Hosier singing for a heavy metal band.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this great like vocalist who he sounds like he should be singing in like pop radio, but the music is just
Yeah, it's cool shit.
so heavy, and the vocals are so soulful and just like, oh god, I love them.
All right, so we got Maneater.
Maneater.
So if it is a cover, it's a 9-minute cover.
Oh,
You ever wondered
9
what
minutes.
the 9-minute version of Maneater sounds like?
So our daughter's 12, and when she was like maybe 9 or 10, she would just start randomly singing Maneater.
Yeah.
Like you put her to bed, and
Really?
she'd go, oh,
Whoa.
here she comes, and you'd be like, God damn it! Like fuck! Now I gotta go listen to this 15 times to get it out of my head.
I have to ask, and I'm not going to give anything away,
Yeah.
but is this the daughter whose name starts with an O?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny because my daughter, whose name starts with an O, is the exact same name, and she is
Yeah.
also 12.
Awesome. We
Yeah.
can hook them up. They'd be fucking stoked, man.
Yeah,
Ours are
seriously.
the three of them between mine and his two are between 11 and
Yeah.
13.
And it doesn't just start with an O; it's the exact same name.
Yeah.
That's
Is
so
what I'm
awesome.
saying. Like,
Weird, because usually it's not that name. It's
Yeah, it's the IA. It ends in an IA,
yeah, it's
right?
the
Yeah.
wrong
Nope.
version.
Yep.
So this kid is so insane. It's so funny because like I take her to shows. Like we go to shows. A lot of times Michelle won't even go, and like I'll grab Ollie and just go to a show. And it's really funny because I'll be like, "Hey, do you want to go to this show?" And she's like, "Well, who is it?" And I'll be like, "Well, it's, whatever." And she'll go, "Well, are we going to the show or are we going to hang out?" And you're like, "Oh, fuck."
You got dad figured out.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, "Yeah." I'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know anybody in this band." And she's like, "I'm just going to stay home."
Yeah.
That's
She
funny.
just wants to go hang out.
Yeah, she just wants to go hang out with
She likes
bands.
to go backstage.
And she's
Oh,
like,
of course.
Well, so she knows that you can go in the green room and like grab a
Yeah.
water
Oh, you
and
get a free water.
grab some
Nice.
broccoli and dip it in some rain.
I want to go to. I want to go to
took-
that green room.
Yeah, seriously.
I took her up to see Conan up in Omaha, and like we went up. I hadn't met any of the guys in Conan before, and like we went up out at the end of the show, and we're like, I think they did that. I think that tour was with oh fuck, I can't remember who they did that tour with. But like we just went up and talked to them after the show, and it was right at the end of their run. And they were like, "Oh, hey, sweetheart, how old are you?" And I think she was like 8 then or something. And they were all like, "Oh man, we're gonna go home and see our kids in the next couple days, and we're so excited to see them, and we're so stoked you're at the show, and blah blah blah." So we drive back from Omaha, get back into Lincoln, and like she wakes up in the car and says, "Hey," she says, "that John guy from Conan that had a daughter my age?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Do you think we could be pen pals?"
That's
And I was
awesome.
just like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Cool." I was like, "All right." I was like, "I'll hit John up tomorrow." And I was like, if I can't get a hold of him, I was like, Sasha's making guitars for him and I'll bug him about it and see what's up. And I will figure something out. So I messaged John and he was just like, "Oh yeah, hey man." He was like, "It was so cool meeting your daughter. That's so awesome." And then I was like, "Cool." I was like, "Well, she just wants to be pen pals with your daughter." And he was like, "Oh, cool." And he just like sent me their address
Nice.
That's right.
like that. And so like we've been really good friends with those dudes ever since then. And like one year they were playing a show out at Wake Brewing on the 4th of July, and we were out, and like they posted this picture of her and that she was the unofficial like fan club president and all this.
Oh wow.
shit.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that shit's memorable.
So
Completely.
like John and I have this like joke all the time where it's just like #heavy metal dads.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel. Oh, dude, we threw a 3-day festival at a bowling alley, and they have a 200 cap venue attached to the bowling alley. Well, you know, our girls had access to the lanes pretty much whenever we wanted. We
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
in, and they're bowling with the dudes from Pound, with David and Ryan from Pound.
Yeah.
Like just
Hanging out.
like shitty bowling,
Yeah.
hanging out. And then we get home a couple days. David texts me and he's like, "Hey man, I want to send your daughter," because my daughter plays drums, and he's like the most ridiculous drummer I think I mean, other than Danny Carey.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
haven't-
right.
If you
We've
haven't
already
watched-
talked about who the best drummer is on
Yeah.
except
Cover this.
except watch some Pound videos, because David goes places that Danny doesn't go.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
he's like, "Oh, I want to get your address." I was okay, and he sent her like a bunch of drum theory books.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, yeah,
That's
he
amazing.
just sent her like, "Yeah, here's syncopation and odd meter and
Yeah.
playing weird stuff," and she just like sent her this package
That's
with
so
drum
rad.
with drum books.
I'll have people that'll hit me up too when they're coming through town, and I'll be like, "Hey man, I'll see you guys at whatever 4:00. I'll bounce in whenever you're done with sound check or whatever." And they'll be like, "Cool, is Ollie coming with you?" And it's just like, what? I'll just send her up.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
oh yeah, I took a gang of them when they were 10 to see Ghost, and that was fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. That was absolutely. Because Ghost is just like the right amount of listening,
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the right.
like
yeah.
sing alongable, and then to see
Yeah.
like all these little kids and old people like
Yeah.
throwing up horns and singing about Hail Satan was just like, oh my god, does it get any better than this?
Satan for kids.
Yeah, right.
And he kind of
Oh.
explained himself really well at that show, and he's just like, this is my whole point. I want to get people who like wouldn't embrace these ideas or this life.
Yeah.
To be so compelled by the music that they just find themselves like humming and singing
along.
And then
Yeah.
the next thing they know, they find out what they're singing about, and then they go and look into
Yeah.
it, and they're like,
You're like, what
start
is
to,
this shit?
what is
Yeah.
it? What does this really mean? Oh, it's so
Yeah.
great.
We're
Yeah.
big Ghost fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we
That
came
band
across,
takes way too much heat. Like I don't get why I
I
don't
just
get.
don't think people get it that
Yeah.
give them heat. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
so
Yeah.
if
supposed to be
They're
what it is.
well, yeah, it's like the intentionality behind it.
and
Yeah,
I think Tobias did this on purpose, but if it didn't say on the band website that they play black metal,
Yeah.
no one would care.
Right.
It's
Right.
just, but he did that on purpose
Yep.
because he just wanted to fucking piss people off.
Yeah.
And because he knows he's not writing black metal. He's not.
Oh,
an
Right,
idiot.
right,
yeah.
He's not an idiot. He knows what
Yeah.
he's doing. No, I think they're hilarious. And we found another band that was a really killer band from the Midwest that was like strong, crazy Ghost vibes in one of the early episodes. I forget the name. I'll have to look them up. But I was really blown away by how well they executed a real similar like Blue Oyster Culty throwback.
Sure.
Occult rock with
Yeah,
good
yeah.
harmonies and stuff.
Yeah.
But like here in the States and kind of an unknown band, at least to us at the time, they
Yeah.
were killer.
I'll have to go back and look up.
All right, so
Okay.
What's the
The
music?
best looker.
here we go. Maneater. What did it take us? 15 minutes of.
Just to get to the
27
intro.
minutes later.
Sorry, Abyss Looker. If you've ever listened or if this is your first time, this is just how it goes.
We shall edit.
Yeah, no, we won't.
We've been together for 700 years.
700
Yeah,
years.
Exactly. We're operating on a different time.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
Continue.
we're a different time scale.
Yeah.
Like
Time work.
TVA.
to
TVA in effect.
TVA.
Yeah, time works different here. My daughter's like, they're in the quantum realm, aren't they? It's like, actually, they're outside of time, which is not in the.
Doesn't my Apple Watch stop this? Siri, stop time variance.
All right, sorry, Abyss Looker. Here we go.
Okay.
Now we play like 10 seconds of it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Whatever. It's gonna take like.
Okay.
I like it.
I don't know what to think.
Thing I don't love.
I like this band.
I really love the music,
music.
and I think I could get used to the vocals.
Is it always like crying?
Yeah, it was weird. It's almost
You
like
know?
a cartoony
Every
crying voice.
song. Maybe
Here,
all the songs
yeah.
aren't like
Let's.
that.
I'll shuttle a little farther into it, and we'll
Yeah,
see if it
let's try it.
continues.
I mean, it's 9 minutes.
Yeah.
It's that. Yeah, it's that way they backtrack those vocals is weird.
Yeah.
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 It's this sounds like something. Although when you showed the band photo, so the guitarist is the singer. So when I picture that, what we were just listening to, when I picture that live, it is a vocalist who is just the singer.
Yeah,
all over the
me
fucking
too.
place,
Me too.
throwing him all over the stage. He's like bashing his head in and making himself bleed. Like, but that's obviously not the situation.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he does.
Although also live, the vocals will be way less prominent.
That's
so
true.
like if you like the music, I bet even if you didn't love the vocals, you'd. I kind of like it. It's like he's like, I want to sound like I'm screaming in hell, like I'm
tormented.
actively
From the
being
chasm.
Tortured.
I'm currently being tortured. Like
Yeah.
status.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I really like the music, and I think I could get used to the vocals.
Status at a party, currently being tortured.
Currently being hanging from hooks in the ceiling. It's complicated.
He's just big into the piercing community. That's all.
Remember the 90s when we all knew about fuck here and body and like the whole weird body modification scene? Do kids even talk about that?
No,
I remember
idea.
we had a
Regular.
book and it
Not
was
like
people-
that.
yeah.
I mean, they like do implants and shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
They don't
split
hang
tongues
themselves
and
from-
devil horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I was here, and fuck here was like in San Francisco, so that was a very Bay Area. In the 90s, it was like the coolest thing to know someone who went and watched him hang from the ceiling or watched his disciples.
Well, I remember there were piercing studios in Salt Lake, and there was one, like the first one opened, but they were like super into it. It was like really big, and they would go to these festivals where they were like the suspension festivals or whatever, and
What
you'd
was it?
see people and you'd do it yourself.
like Modern Primitives.
Primitives.
Yeah, it was something like that. What a weird place and time that was. All right,
Yeah.
so intro this
Okay,
one.
are we
The
gonna
last
do it?
song. We're gonna do
All
it.
right.
So this is a submission that came via postcard.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So
love it.
camera's not even working right now, is it? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, they can see
Came
us.
via postcard. Rolling Stone cover. The Simpsons make rock history. And apparently, at first I was worried because I was like, "How in the fuck does anybody have my home address?"
Yeah, we
But
didn't
then
give
I
it out.
realized that the person that sent this is the person that won the King Buffalo record.
Ah, there we go.
So, and they're in, I think, Nova Scotia. But they're Canada, and all it says is, "Guys, a dude I work with has a band."
yes.
And then she wrote out the URL and the songs. And then there's a stamp that has your signature that just says you can check off Toodles, ciao, thanks, sincerely, take care. So she checked off Toodles and something else.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this is the best submission ever.
Okay.
Send us your postcards. No, don't really. I
Okay.
don't want to give you my address.
So,
But I think the band is called Llama Den.
Llama Den is what it
The
looks like.
cover has a llama
I like
on
this
it.
so far.
Yeah, no, it definitely has a llama on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Llama
does.
Den?
Does it-
Llama Den?
Did she indicate what song? Oh, wait.
Well, she did, but I
No, she said
Are they
3
from-
dehydrate or 9 musha.
I
are
think
her two
because
favorites.
at the time, I think there was only 2 available. But
This
I
is
thought
like,
Stoffel the Escapist sounded interesting.
But she listed 2 songs.
Oh, but we can't pick. Which one do we pick? There's 2.
Oh, I'll pick the first one. I'll play
Uh-huh.
it. Fuck it. I'll play them both.
I'll play them
Yeah,
both.
play
I
'em
don't
both.
care. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
So the first song is Dehydrate.
Here's Dehydrate. I mean, she went through the
Wow,
effort of
wow.
writing.
This is true.
She wrote them on
This
a
is true.
postcard.
This is true.
All right, here we go. I hope it's good.
Sounding pretty post. Oh, it's totally post.
I feel a numbness on my tongue. I strain my eyes to focus as I spiral down the drain. Spinning in all the regrets
You're right.
overheated with no water. No tears when the child cries. Time after time we lie. Suppress it down. Bury it inside.
The vocals,
Yeah.
they're not the vocals. The guitars, once they kind of kicked in, had kind of a genty sound to them, a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe.
A lot.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah,
nothing.
I don't hate it.
It's nothing I've ever listened
hate
to.
it.
But
Yeah.
But I have a big question. To me, there's like a very tongue-in-cheek feeling to the whole thing, like the name, but then
Llama Den.
yeah, but then the way the letters are done.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
And then
Yeah.
he's just,
It reminds
Yeah.
me of Thanksgiving. Is this
Thanksgiving. Is
Yeah.
that a band?
No. It's a
That's
movie
a
about
movie. Yeah, it's a movie.
Thanksgiving and it kills everyone. But I think there's a llama in that movie.
Really?
No, there's a movie called Llamageddon.
Is it?
Lamageddon.
Maybe this is
That's
Lamaden.
like very like I thought of
Yeah,
that instantly.
I'm pretty sure
like,
it's on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Like Lamageddon.
we
Yeah.
love movies like that.
No,
so.
it's Lamageddon, and then like they're out in the outback or some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
nobody there.
Lamageddon.
That's
Oh,
one too,
yeah,
then, yeah.
Of course we've seen it.
Yeah.
So
We've seen it.
here's what we know. They're on Bandcamp. This is the only thing on their entire Bandcamp page.
And there was a postcard.
One record. A friend of theirs sent us a postcard.
It's not even a friend. It's a dude I work
A
with.
dude I work with. Zero supporters.
So who is she
Oh, there we
work
go.
with?
I see the Lamageddon.
Oh yeah, Lamageddon.
So not a single soul has purchased this
What's up with that? Is it out yet?
on
Oh,
Bandcamp.
it is out. Obviously.
Nor has anyone they've given a code to activated their
Wait a
code.
second.
Because
What's going on?
Because
I'm
all
going to buy it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll buy it.
it's
now.
I think
exactly
we should buy it.
what I'm gonna do.
Are we?
Right.
Are we? Or we're getting trolled.
So what's
Watch
The
out,
second
because they're going
song-
to come like, try to book tours.
Yeah, I know. The second song is Musha.
I know bands I could link them up with around here. That would be easy.
Yamanos.
Yeah, we put them with Earthcrawler or yeah,
Yeah, Musha.
Musha. All right.
Okay.
Track 9, Musha.
That's cool.
You even Jen at all.
Do it right now.
I think it edited.
Oh,
What happened?
Oh, PayPal
Oh.
kicked me out.
God
Guys,
damn it.
I was just trying to buy the song.
Pal.
Here, don't look at my stuff.
You were buying
Yeah.
the thing in real
private.
time.
Don't look at my passwords.
Oh, I just saw the last four of your credit
Yeah,
card.
me too. Couple credit cards.
3729, man.
So many things you could do with the last 4 digits of
Oh
my credit card.
yeah, I'm going on a spending spree.
Man, it's driving me nuts, too, that you said you're from Salt Lake, because I know this band that opened for Conan was from Salt Lake, and it's driving me fucking crazy.
Open for Conan from Salt. Was it Sub Rosa? It wouldn't have been Sub Rosa,
No,
was it?
but Corey Quist, who played with
Oh.
Sub Rosa for a while, what's his other band?
Ditch in the Delta.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I remember that tour.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
That band? Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of town.
I think we saw that tour. I think
God
I
damn,
saw the
yeah.
Conan and Ditch in the Delta at bottom
God
of the hill.
damn it.
Yeah,
That's
Ditch in the Delta is good.
Because I love that band.
Yeah,
like-
they're so good.
Anytime I post stuff with like Olive on it, they'll be like, "That kid rules," and you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah. It's so funny because tomorrow we're recording with a guy named Jerem, who was in a band with Corey before Ditch in the Delta, called Worst Friends. And they're fucking incredible. They're so good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're so good.
yeah. Jerem runs Crucial Fest in Salt Lake.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
He's got some beer sponsors too.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I was at that show
Yeah,
at the
at the
Parkside
Parkside.
in San Francisco.
Yeah, all that gear coming out of Salt Lake. Get the fuck out of town, man.
All the hex stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what is what?
Well, that's all.
Who
That's
makes all
all-
those guitars? Who makes all those guitars? All those aluminum neck guitars out of Salt Lake? Is that the same guys that do hacks?
I think that's the same guys.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
I think it's the Hex guys.
yeah. Yeah. I don't
God
know if
damn.
they're. Yeah, I know they're doing the cabs and everything. They do the cabs and the amps, and then
It seems like the
they
guitars
might be
kind
doing
of
the
fell
guitars.
because like
Yeah, I
those
think-
like aluminum necks they had were like
Yeah.
weren't just like this.
Yeah.
They were like that, and then like the wood wings on them were like 2 inches on each side, and it was like, how the fuck are you?
Yeah, I
holding-
think I think Gentry plays one of those now. And have you heard that new Iceburn album?
No, huh?
Oh shit. You got to dig into that.
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah,
it.
Iceburn just
That's
released
on
a new
tomorrow.
album. Like it's their first album in 20 years, and I know they went down a weird jazz, like an avant-garde jazz rabbit hole for a
Yeah.
while, but they're like back to their older, like
Awesome.
heavier ways, and it's just like 2 18-minute long songs that still have a lot of sort of like the jazz, like they'll just be in the middle of just heavy, and then all of a sudden doom doo 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 doo,
Yeah.
and then like Gentry will like do his thing, and it's fucking incredible. It's
That's
so
so
good.
cool. Yeah. That Ditch in the Delta stuff just smokes. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That was good. Oh, let's play other tours that we probably both saw the same
Yeah.
show of. I know
All of them.
I know one for sure. Chemist, Oathbreaker,
Yeah.
and J Jail.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
what a sick show. She didn't go. I went down to Kansas City for that, and she didn't. That was the first time I met the Chemist guys.
Yeah.
Like Zach brews at True.
Yes,
in
I know that.
Denver. And I had just kind of stumbled on those guys through like Decibel best of list kind of stuff, and put it on and was just like, this is it.
Yeah.
We got to hear
Yeah.
the new track off the new Chemist record when we were in Denver
Yeah,
the other
just a
week.
couple
We
weeks
went
ago.
out with Phil and had beers and dinner, and he was like, "Hey, you want to hear the new Chemist song?" And I was like,
Nice.
"Yeah, no,
Yeah.
No,
No.
not really.
no,
good.
we're just gonna go home. Fuck
We'll
off."
just wait till it
It
comes
was
out.
funny though, because he turned it on and we drove to the restaurant, which we got to in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and he
after
was
being in
like
the
getting
car.
ready to shut the
He was
car
just gonna
off.
turn off the car.
Uh-uh.
Like, you out of your fucking mind?
Sam's like, we gotta sit here like for 5 more minutes, dude. Listen to this
It was
song."
so good.
It was
Write
funny.
shorter songs if you want to take
Yeah.
short drives.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude,
And it was
Hunted.
funny too, because like those guys are really good friends of ours, and like getting in the car. I mean, we'd been hanging out drinking beers for like a couple hours, and he was like, and you could tell he was nervous about it. And I was like, dude, like, you
Don't
guys
be.
could fuck this shit up so bad, and it would still be amazing. And we like drive down the block, and he was like, "Oh, okay, we're here. Oh, we're gonna shut the car up." I'm like, ah!
It was funny.
But
Why
it
don't
was
we just hang
it's
out in the
so
car?
good. It's so
We
good.
don't need to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, like I didn't love the Oathbreaker set so much, but like that J Jail shit,
That was
good.
great. That was great.
I didn't know at the time that he was in Breather Resist. And when I figured that out, it like melted my fucking brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
well,
was
he-
also in like True Widow or something like that.
Yeah, I
Or
think
one of
so.
those widow
He's-
bands.
He's
Yeah.
Emma Ruth Rundle's boyfriend or husband.
Yep.
Something
And
like
they
that.
do that. Yeah, they've got that split that's so good.
Yeah, I gotta actually. Chemist is on my hit list for the Rush tribute record. I really feel like there's
They would
some
kill it.
right and I know they like doing covers, so I gotta,
All those covers they've done are so good too.
yeah they do some really good covers. That Hunted is in like found its way into maybe like my top 20 records of all time.
Oh,
That's good.
I think
I
that
would agree.
record is so great.
all day long. All day long.
Start to finish, that thing is just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, everything on it's perfect. It's perfect. I grew up. I used to have night terrors like crazy,
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
and that record is. And Phil and I have talked about this at length. Like that record is all about like night terrors.
Oh, really?
It's hard. There's times that it's hard to listen to because it's
Because you
so
know.
accurate.
Yeah.
Because he had them too, and it was like I was out at the brewery. It was like I had met those guys, and then I was out for 7-1 Grind Fest out in Colorado Springs, and like they did like a night of just straight fucking doom stoner shit, and then the next night was all just like death, grindcore, power violence kind of stuff. And I went out for that and like was hanging out with Zach, and I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "all this night terror shit on this record has me tripped out." And he was like, "Oh shit, for real?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I was like, "Who in the band has night terrors?" And he was like, "Oh, it's all Phil." And I was like, "Fuck." And so yeah, we've talked about that a lot, man. Like that record, like there's days I can just listen to it and it's just cool, you know.
Yeah.
And there's times like, you know, I'm stoned alone in the living room. At
it's
2
too
o'clock.
much.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, bit much.
Like-
Well,
bit
like
much.
we just listened to Lamaden do that harsh, clean vocal
Yeah.
juxtaposition. I don't
Yeah.
know that there's a record on earth that does it better than Hunted. That
Yeah.
I think, and it because it really tells the story. And I didn't know that it was about night terrors,
Yep.
but knowing that when you hear when those harsh vocals come in, like I can picture what that is. Like there's like the person
Yeah.
telling his story, and then there's the terror that comes in and invades. Invades the dream and just fucks with you.
And it
And that-
just fucks you up.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
Yeah. That band, man, they should just be so much bigger than they are. It just, Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably lack of touring because
Lack of
Ben,
touring.
because Ben's still working as a professor
Yep.
or whatever.
Phil,
and-
yeah, Phil's working for the Census Department.
Yeah.
You know, Jack's
Yeah.
brewing beer. Like,
yeah, life happens as it
you
turns
know,
out.
and like
Yeah.
it's just like God, you know, and I know it's just so hard to be in this thing where it's like, you know, like you're just on the cusp of like making it huge, but it's like abandoning everything else that you're doing
Yeah,
at the same
Mhm.
time, you know, because like
Well-
all those guys have built these awesome lives around everything else they're doing too.
yeah.
And
Well, I'm
it's,
all-
it's
in
so
the spring, I always wait in the spring because you know they're gonna announce a tour for right when school's out. And there's
Yeah.
there's always a tour that
Yeah.
starts in like mid-June or something, and you're like, no, Chemist is like
Yeah, yeah.
itching to hit the road, and they finally do it.
Around the teaching
Yeah,
schedule.
the last time we caught them, we had gone up to Chicago for a collaboration beer we were doing with the guys from Wake and Sound Growler, who are on like Tinley Park, like south side of Chicago. And I was so bummed because we didn't know this collab was going to happen, and it was like, all right, yeah, we'll do it. And then Baroness and Torch were playing in Omaha on the day that we had to be in Omaha, on the day we had to be in Chicago.
Oh,
And I was so fucking bummed because like I'd got tickets, and like Olive was going with us, and she was freaking out about going to see all these guys, and I was like, well, shit. I was like, can't go to this, got to go to this thing in Chicago. And then like a day later, Chemist announced our tour, and it was like Chemist at Reggie's when we're there, and I was like,
yes,
Perfect.
fuck yeah.
Oh, Reggie's is a cool spot too.
It's such a
Yeah.
good club, man. And you know,
Yeah.
like I just have this kind of list of like venues to tick, you know, and like Reggie's was for sure on that list.
Yeah,
And to like go see some of our best friends and like have it be at that club was fucking awesome.
It was so good.
That's awesome.
And like,
yeah. You guys
Well,
need to come out and
exactly.
do a Bay Area beer tour, and then we'll hit the classic Bay Area venues: Bottom of the Hill,
I'm down.
the Parkside,
Warfield.
Yeah.
Well,
No, not Warfield.
Great American,
Great America.
Great American Music Hall.
But yeah, like I had been texting Zach that we were coming out to that Chemist show, and he didn't bother telling anybody else in the band. And so it was like after the show, and we're walking through, and like Dan was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do that a lot because I traveled a lot for work. If I seem extra chipper today, it is because I just finished off my last 2 weeks of the job that I've been doing for 26 years,
Whoa.
and I'm staring down the
You're
barrel of
sold. You're retiring.
3 weeks off and then
Not really.
starting something new.
Nope.
So, but I used to travel a ton for work, and
Don't
it's
open
always
a brewery.
no. I'm all good.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm all good. But no, and so like in every city I go to, I always love to like who's playing lands, who's playing tonight, what shows can I see?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you look for. You look for
Always.
shows and breweries.
Yeah, shows and breweries.
Yeah, right. Is there good Thai food close by?
Yeah, here, yes.
Here, yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. It's not like that everywhere.
No.
No, maybe not in Lincoln, Nebraska, or maybe who knows? No, not so much.
No. Yeah, we got a
Awesome.
new place opening up soon. So 2 final questions.
Oh no.
Yes.
We have 2.
All right, let's hear 'em.
1. Why Cosmic Eye?
Oh man, the short
Yeah.
version of this. You want me to tell it instead?
Sure.
Okay, so
Do
originally,
it. Talk more.
Yeah. Talk, please.
originally we were gonna be Get Lost, was the name of the brewery.
Yeah.
So we had built sort of a brand around that. So all the names of the beers really went with that idea. Our location really went with that idea. We're like very
Tucked away.
tucked away.
Off the beaten
Yeah.
path.
Off
Yeah.
the beaten path, yeah. When we went to get pretty serious about opening the brewery, trademarking
Artwork.
the name, doing artwork, all that kind of things, found that Get Lost was already a name of a beer that somebody had done,
Oh, yeah.
And trademarked.
and had trademarked it.
Ah.
So we were kind of like, oh shit, what do we do now? Because we had built all this shit around the name Get Lost.
They have not made this beer for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
And when I talk to friends in the state that they're in, I tried to reach out to them a bunch to like get fair use. Hey, we'll pay for it. We'll buy it, whatever. I finally got a hold of some friends in the state and said, hey, what's the deal with this? Who should I talk to? And the comment one person made was, they've got more money than sense. And that's when I said,
Yeah.
All
So we
right.
sort of
Okay.
abandoned the idea.
done.
But we were really far into things at that point. So it was like, you know, very important to get a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 0 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sam called me one afternoon and was like, holy shit, I have the name and I think it should be Cosmic Eye. And I was like, I actually love that more. Like, I think that fits really well with everything we had already put together and all of that. So it's a lyric in Steam Breather from Mastodon. So
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a great song too.
Yeah.
we also have a lyric called Steam Breather
Yeah. Right.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of it fell in his lap, I feel like,
Yeah.
at the right moment and made a lot of sense for
I should have
Whoa.
known that actually.
Yeah, you should have
Now
known
I'm
that.
kicking myself
God
for not
damn it.
knowing
Yeah.
that.
So
yeah.
Some fan.
it really kind of comes from like we played around a lot with like the like inner eye, third eye, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Third eye blind. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Semi-charmed beer company.
Semi-charmed beer company.
So we're big Black Sabbath fans. I mean, duh. And National Acrobat is by far my favorite Sabbath song, and it's just
Right
not.
here.
It's not.
Up top. Up top. That is,
And if it's not your favorite Black Sabbath song, you're not wrong. But we can't be as good friends as we.
yeah. If it's into the void, it's real close.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's real close. It's almost there.
That whole like line in that song, that unseen eye of inner light will make your soul return, like is one of my favorite lyrics ever. And I was always just so stuck on that. And I was like, you can't call a brewery that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
The Soul Return.
Yeah.
you know, you can make all kinds of Soul Return would have been good.
Yeah.
God damn it! 8 years ago. So, you know, I always loved that lyric, and like we always tried to riff on that, and it just always sounded forced and faked and cheesy. And I had put that Mastodon record in. That's one of the last CDs I bought, I think, because like I just stream it. I buy a shitload of records, but I
Yeah.
stream
And then you
almost
stream.
everything I listen to. But like I had like thrown it on the car and was running errands. I walked out of Target and I had started Steam Breather over because I was like, this fucking riff
Yeah.
is sick. And then by the time I left the parking lot, the Climb to the Cosmic Eye lyric came on, and I was just like,
Boom.
Done.
that's it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And everybody was like, oh man, I like that way better than Get Lost. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
thanks, dick.
I mean, it's better.
Yeah.
It's
The
great.
funny part was
And it fits.
the funnier part was we had started the process of trademarking it, and a friend of ours in Chicago at Alarmist Brewing named a beer Cosmic Eye. And I called him and I was like, hey, Gary, I was like, listen, dude, I was like, I'm not trying to sweat you on this. Like, I don't give a shit what you call the beer. You're fine. I just want to make sure that you're not going to sue us.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sue you. And I was like, let's just high five and, you know, and just both use it, you know? And he was like, he goes, I didn't ever really like it that much anyway. You can have it. And if like you knew this guy, like he's the biggest goddamn smart ass, and everybody that works for him is a huge smart ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I didn't even really like it anyway. You just keep it. And I was like, God damn.
No, it's
awesome.
It's good. No, that's God. I need to
Yeah.
listen to that song. I have a Mastodon request though, and it popped into my playlist the other day. Is Creature Lives?
Yo, dude.
That song. I
That-
want an entire Mastodon album of songs that sound like
that.
that just sound like Creature Lives. It's so
Yeah.
different from anything they've ever done. It's like fuck.
It's so good.
I want more of that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I've got a remission tattoo and everything.
Oh yeah. Wait. I don't know if the camera can get close enough to see the entire cover of Leviathan. Well, not the entire cover.
Oh
but
yeah, I can see it.
That's a lot of Leviathan.
a lot of
Yeah.
Leviathan there.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
A whole bunch.
So you like
Nice.
Mastodon?
I might like Mastodon. The hardest thing was deciding what to do because I was only going to do one, and I was
Yeah.
I was back and forth between that and then some of Romero's art from Crack the Sky. And the problem with the Crack the Sky art is I couldn't pick one thing.
Yeah, it's so
like
much.
when you look at that whole
Yeah.
booklet, there's so
It's like
much
all,
art.
and it's all fractally.
Yeah, it's great. So I went with the more predictable Leviathan, but whatever.
Sweet.
I'd be happy either way.
I got.
All right.
I got
Final
the,
question.
I got the Leviathan on white vinyl, and I was so stoked. It was
Oh,
on
nice.
Bill's eBay store,
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, they keep doing that, throwing shit up on
and I
shit
was
up
like,
on their
"Oh
store.
shit! I got it on white vinyl."
Oh, I bought a signed copy of Remission, and then another one showed up, and I was like, I guess I ordered a second copy when I wasn't paying attention one night. So that happens a
I got a
lot.
signed copy of Remission too, but I was like, "Hey, dude," I was like, "Is this the remaster?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "No," and I was like, "Cool," because
Cool.
that's like, there's a handful of records, man, that I just can't do the remasters with, and that's one of them.
That's fun.
Yeah, I can hear it so much.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
For both of you,
All right.
all-time favorite hometown bands.
Oh man.
Oh man. 311. No
Sweet.
fucking joke.
Really?
They're from
I-
Omaha.
Where are they
I-
from? Where are you from?
Omaha.
Omaha.
Omaha?
All right.
311's
Yeah.
from Omaha?
I think Maroon
Yeah.
5's from here too.
Well, the guitar player.
One
oh,
of them.
wow.
I would say that my favorite Nebraska band, because I think we got to lump it into Nebraska here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
I think that's fair.
It's probably 311
Yeah.
for real. Yeah.
What is the color of your energy?
It's
Just out of
amber.
curiosity. Is it amber?
Well, what's funny is the architect for our brewery is Peanut's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I
killer.
never really got into 311.
I understand why people don't like them, and I understand the track that they took, but like that early shit, man, if you were like 17 years old and like,
I had the
Don't-
first
A
record.
kid in high school? Completely.
I'll say it out
You're
loud.
like, so it's like reggae, but metal?
Yeah. and they're wearing Doc
Fuck
Martens.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They're wearing Doc Martens and the shitty big jeans I got on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Oh,
you
we-
know all the songs regardless.
but if we want to get ugly and underground, my favorite Nebraska band, other than that, is probably Wasteoid.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I would agree
Wasteoid.
with that. for
Nice.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
and
they
they're
were-
really great guys,
they were.
which is helpful.
Always.
They probably stopped
Yeah.
playing in 2005 or 6,
Yeah.
but just like power violence, fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They played at
Also-
Gilman. They always used to go out and play at Gilman Street Speed
Of course.
Trial.
Of course.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, I would just give a shout out to Black Plague too.
Black Plague.
Okay.
This Black Plague.
Black Plague. Oh.
Yeah.
yeah,
So they're really great friends of ours too.
some leather
like,
daddy weirdo
leather
shit.
daddy noise.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's
oh,
not my favorite music, but they're really great
They're
people.
really
awesome.
But they're good dudes.
Yeah.
Their show is probably amazing.
Oh, we
Yeah.
we
Oh,
had
yeah.
It's a
We had a-
lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, we-
lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Oh, we had a dude on from a band called Nopes. Speaking of Gilman Street, who spent a lot of time in their history playing at Gilman Street, and they had a song called "Amber is the Color of Your Alert," which is like maybe the greatest song title.
That's so awesome.
Ah, good times.
Yeah. So I'm out myself again with the 311 thing.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, you're not the only one.
Yeah,
Yep.
we have had
Yeah, Aaron.
similar admissions, and
Aaron
yeah,
admitted it.
Aaron Gray,
Aaron Gray.
from who you should get to know because
Yes.
Aaron's the booker for Heavy Talent.
Okay.
If you
yeah.
if you look at the roster of bands that he's booking shows for,
Yeah.
Every single one of
you're
them
gonna
should be
you're
playing in
gonna
a
see
brewery.
some stuff. You'll see some things you like.
You guys know Scotty from Tank Crimes?
Yeah, I've met Scotty before.
So he's a huge fucking 311 fan too.
Yeah.
And like I saw this thing and like it was like Ryan Weiss showing up at his house and being like, it was like 311 day. And he was like, "Hey bro, I brought you a 311 shirt." And he's like, "Oh my God." And, and I always thought it was a joke, right? And then one day I was talking to Scotty and I was like, "Oh man, yeah, sorry, I couldn't send you some 311 beers." And he was like, "Dude," he's like, "I'm actually a really like huge fan."
That's
And I was
amazing.
like, "What? What?" He's like, "I love fish too."
Oh shit.
Man. Oh,
And I was
boy.
like, "All right, cool, man." I was like,
He's
"Shit."
he's
And
gonna
he's, like,
lose
running,
his
like the craziest underground label, like you know,
grindcore and power
Dystopia,
violence.
like.
I know you don't listen to podcasts.
Not
But
a
probably one of the funniest podcasts I've ever listened to is that one about fish.
Oh yeah.
They got one guy that died.
Yeah, so
but-
Harris Whittles was
my
was
God.
a comedy writer who wrote on Parks and Recreation and
Okay.
a whole bunch of other shit, and was the hugest fish fan in the world, and had a podcast called Analyze Fish.
Analyze fish.
And the whole thing he did was just try and drag his friends to fish shows and convince them that
Dude.
fish is great. But
So-
all his friends are like famous comedians and actors and comedy writers.
Yeah.
And he dragged Scott Aukerman, I forget who else, to like a New Year's Eve fish show in
New York.
New York, and they
Yeah.
did all the drugs.
They did all the drugs.
and then they
Yeah.
recorded themselves
like a Madison Square Garden.
at the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible listening.
But every episode is just listening to a new song. He's trying. No. Listen to this.
No,
No, you
wait.
don't
No,
understand.
listen
You
to
gotta
this
listen
part.
to this. And then, like the friends, all comedians would just make fun of it. And it
Had
is
a buddy and-
amazing.
Oh shit! It would have been like 96 or 7 that took me to he won't go to stuff by himself. So I was like, he was like, "I got to go to this fish show." I was like, "Cool, man. I'll go to the show with you." Right.
Yeah.
So it was at Civic Auditorium in Omaha, and we walk in, and it's hippies everywhere, and everything smells like patchouli, and
Yeah.
like we just went up way in the back to sit down, and like motherfuckers were getting arrested everywhere at this show, just left and right. And this dude, he like standing next to me, like these undercover, it was like halfway through the show, these undercover cops grab this guy, handcuff him to a fucking rail, like like at the top of the like steepest part of the stairs at the arena, and they just leave him there.
Oh,
And this dude's just tripping balls, freaking the fuck out. And I remember I looked up at him and I was like, "Buddy," I was like, you gotta sit down."
yeah, just sit down.
So he
Deep breath.
sits down and he's like got his arm hanging up on the thing.
He's just sitting
And I
there.
was like- and I just remember telling this guy, I was like, "Here's the deal, man. You're getting arrested and it fucking sucks." But I was like, "Everything's okay." And he looked over at me and was like, "All right, man, that's just really what I needed to hear."
Should have walked down to where it was less steep.
And it was just like, God damn, like, how do you arrest somebody and cuff them to a rail
And just leave him there.
with 12,000 people? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I
Oh
won't.
my God.
Hope you found him later.
Oh, they came and got him later. Yeah.
That's
Oh, good.
Came up
That's
with
good.
uniformed
That's good.
officers, like, and I mean, it was like 4 or 5 minutes of this dude just sitting there handcuffed to a rail.
Oh, it's crazy.
Think-
Are you out of your mind? I was like, you need to tell your attorney about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of the great service to the world those fine officers did that
Yeah.
Oh,
night,
yeah.
Yeah.
protecting us from that man tripping,
Protecting a bunch of druggies from a bunch of druggies.
tripping
Yeah,
balls.
protecting the world from that guy on mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if he protects me from having to talk to that guy about fish,
He's like, yeah, he wasn't arrested for the drugs. It was
No.
for talking
Yeah.
about fish.
He
Because
just
he wanted
wouldn't
to
stop.
hang out with the drummer wearing a dress, right? That's the real story there. Jesus.
oh.
Well, this
All right, we
went
hit
a lot longer than I thought it was
we
going
hit the
to.
we hit the
This was
three-
amazing.
We hit the 3-hour wall.
And we're new best friends, just so you know.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, as
Two-
soon as I
two-
saw you guys, I was like, oh man, I was like, these guys talk a lot of shit.
Well, it's
We're
like
in.
we're two old married couples. I mean, of,
Yeah.
course, of course we're gonna get along. It's my platonic brother wife.
Yeah, brother wife.
Whatever, isn't that what they call them in
legal
Utah?
California?
Well, no,
Yeah,
it's
they're legal.
Utah.
Everything's legal in California.
No, it's
Yeah,
Utah.
yeah.
It's Utah law in this house.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think
Yeah, I
that's
get to have the
Legal
polygamy.
as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is seriously a blast.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
awesome. Thanks for the
The
beer.
beer was great.
Thank
We'll
you.
send you a pack.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
shoot us an address and we will send you the
Let's
Bay
get some
Area's
Ghost Town
finest.
out your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, look forward to hopefully meeting you guys in person sometime when
Yeah.
we can travel the world again.
Exactly.
It feels like the most likely place for a meetup like this someday is a place like a Psycho Las Vegas or a Crucial
Dude,
Fest.
I want to do
So-
Psycho so bad this year, and what ends up happening for us with Psycho is like plane tickets just put it out.
Oh, really?
I don't know what we can get cheap airfare to Vegas
Yeah.
all the time, except Psycho Week.
That's
That's
weird.
so weird.
Like
Yeah,
I can
we're-
get like $300 round trip tickets, and then like all of a sudden it's Psycho, and it's like $900.
Yeah.
Which is
Like, I
crazy
go to
because
fucking Europe.
Yeah.
it's crazy because there's like 1 million hotel rooms in Vegas and Psycho's only
Yeah.
using up one resort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Flights are usually so cheap.
well, we're fucking spoiled. If I pay more than $180 for a round trip flight to Vegas, I'm mad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
we have 3 airports within less than an hour from us
Right.
to
Yeah.
drive to fly there. So it's just like
I think we're probably coming out to LA the last week or the first week in November. I don't have final details and can't talk about this stuff super good yet, but
Yeah.
we're supposed to be out for a really big show at the end
Oh,
of
nice.
the first week of LA.
Yeah.
I think.
interesting.
I
Okay.
think.
Duly noted.
The mystery.
Yeah, we're still on the fence about Psycho 2. It's like I'd like to go, but then all this like variant stuff and
It's scary, man.
we got
It is.
we got kids in our house that can't be
we got
that
kids.
can't be
Yeah,
vaccinated
yeah.
yet. So it's like this is a
Yeah.
little bit. It's great here. There's no sick people. There's nobody in the hospital. Everybody's
Yeah.
vaccinated. So we're like in this like safe pocket.
We're in a
of-
bubble here in Lincoln too.
Yeah.
Oh really?
And it makes me nervous, like looking at going to Decibel even right now is just like making me fucking nervous. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a hotel room held in Vegas,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of play it by ear and see
Yeah.
if we can
We'll
talk them
see.
into giving us press passes. That's
Yeah.
yeah,
Step-
right.
step one,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there. Awesome. Well, it was awesome meeting you guys.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
And
so good.
We'll of course tag you if you guys have any last plugs you want to give. Feel free to Cosmic Eye Brewing if you're passing through Lincoln, Nebraska.
All
Stop
I'm gonna
by.
say is go support every goddamn small business that you love because we're not out of it, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every little hole in the wall restaurant, every brewery, every venue, nobody's
friend-
out of this yet.
Your
Go-
friend's band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go spend money on the shit that you love because if you don't, it's gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Right on.
Whether it's
Yep.
us or like a band and buy a record and a fucking sticker, go do it
There you
because
go.
people are still hurting and we're not getting any more money from anybody if you don't give it to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So give us your money.
Yeah, right. Uncle Joe ain't coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
indeed.
I'd much rather spend my money at a brewery buying
go
good
spend
beer.
money on the shit you love.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, you guys.
Yeah,
Killer talking
this
to you.
is so fun.
Yeah,
Rock on.
cheers, guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye.
See ya. Oh God, there I am again.
There you are. There he is.
Ah.
Ronald.
Oh, I don't like it.
Oh, I don't like it.
I really don't.
If you're an audio only listener, go find our Facebook or Instagram, find an old picture of JD, and then watch this episode. Luckily, the man's beard grows fast.
It
and
does grow fast.
And in a couple days, we'll have some air cover.
I think the weirdest part is that I have no sun from where my beard was,
So you
so I
can't-
look like I'm wearing like a white chin strap,
Yeah,
kind of.
It's like somebody who's been like in shorts or pants, like
Yeah.
all winter, and then they put their bathing suit on for the first time, but then you have like the
Yeah.
tan lines.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Or
what
you
his-
get the golf socks.
That's what his face looks like. All right.
Well, and the last time I was clean shaven, I had hair on my head. And now I don't have any of that. So
Now it's just all.
now it's just this bald thing at the top of my shoulders. I don't like it. It's horrible.
I don't want to say anything mean, but every time, especially now with the whole space flight thing, there's just a recurring joke that everybody makes about Jeff Bezos looking like a giant thumb.
I think I look like that. That's it. I look like a thumb.
I'm sorry.
No, I keep scaring myself. I keep looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh God, what the? It freaks me out.
Was it?
I don't like it.
What was that? In Stripes. You remember the movie Stripes?
Vaguely.
Remember Sergeant Hulka was like the drill sergeant that they trained under?
No.
They go out, they sneak away from base one night and go out to mud wrestling. Watch Stripes.
I remember that.
One of the greatest tournaments.
I remember
They
that,
come
but I
back.
don't remember.
Sergeant Hulka gives him a pep talk, and Bill Murray says, "Let's all thank our newest and bestest friend and big toe, Sergeant Hulka."
Yes, Sergeant Hulka. Okay.
So JD's in his big toe phase right now.
I'm in my big toe phase.
It'll be over soon. All right. Well, hey, follow, subscribe, like, share,
Do it all.
do it all,
And go support small
and
businesses.
support small businesses.
And Cosmic Eye Brewing, if you're ever in Lincoln, Nebraska,
Yeah,
it's really good, actually.
it is absolutely.
And you know what I
delicious.
just realized is when we share 6 12-ounce beers that are all less than 6%,
You're fine.
it's like nothing.
It's like nothing. No 9%ers in there.
No 9%ers.
Well,
Like
that's what
12 ounces instead of 16.
That's what he said. I like to drink a shit ton of beer.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
Haven't done that in a while.
All right, everybody. Well, this has been the latest episode of Blynd Submyshynz. Oh, you were still going?
Oops, I was still going. We only did blind. We didn't do submissions.
Submissions.
Thanks for joining us for another week of Blynd Submyshynz. See episode description for links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying music and merch. Share links to the podcast or YouTube videos with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands, if you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit one song to blyndsub@gmail.com. That is blyndsub, BLYNDSUB @gmail.com. Bandcamp links preferred, but not required. Find us on social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.